Okay, well, hello once again. Part two of the stream for this week. Mainly because I've been, I had so much stuff I wanted to talk about that happened the past week that we talked about half of it yesterday and we talked about half of it today. We're going to talk half of it today. Now, let me just... Okay, that's my volume. Music volume is good. Okay. And again, I sound a bit out of it because I'm trying to prepare myself to go to sleep right after the stream because I got work tomorrow. Yay. But the only reason I'm streaming today is because I don't really have to worry much about work tomorrow. So, yeah. We'll see how that goes. But hopefully you guys are doing well. You new people that pop in, you people that show up. Welcome, welcome in. Thank you, Maddie, for the lurk. Much appreciated. You go ahead and have a great shower, but I will be right here when you're done. But, yeah, so... Hey, Enderman, how you doing? How you doing? Hi. So yeah, so today we're gonna be talking about quite a few extra things, stuff that I've been teasing for a little bit, especially the typing study that I conducted over the past week. For those of you who haven't participated or are new, then I'll talk about exactly what that is, and we'll basically be going over the study as a whole, what I did, what I received for results, and basically the conclusions and possible biases of the study, just to show like how difficult a study is. Again, this was mainly just something we randomly came up with in stream last week, so I don't really expect too much from it, but it should be fun to take a look at the results. But before we do that, just gonna wait for people to come in to the chat or the stream. I'm going to work on something that I've been wrestling with for the past couple of couple of hours. And I'm just going to show you guys what it is. Because I was going to actually do this tonight, but unfortunately I'm not able to. And let me show you why. Pretty bad. Alright, hold on. Let me just close a few things out real quick. Okay. I've been looking at like SQL and all those other things for the Twitch bot that I was working on yesterday. Maybe I'll work on it after I finish the next few things, but honestly, I think I'm just going to be a bit tired to do so. So yeah. Oh my god, I'm fat. Also, this is the Twitch bot that I was mentioning. Apparently, VS Code still was open. Let me just shrink this down. Ooh. Okay. Let's open up Brave. As you guys know, my streams are always set up in the best way possible, right? Okay. That's off. Good. Alright. So this is like... Okay, let me just explain what I'm trying to do. But first, before we actually get started, I want to show you guys something of an acquaintance of mine just achieved. So let me go on Twitter. And let me go to his account real quick. So if you guys don't know who this is my rigging artist. You see this little goober on your screen right here? Yeah, he's the person that rigged Monami. So... very, very talented dude. Really appreciate his work. He worked very well with me over like, I don't even know, like 6 months just making Monami. As you know, Monami has like way more things than you can ever imagine. Wait, where's her coat? Uh-oh, don't... Okay, whatever. So Monami has a lot of outfits, a lot of toggles, a lot of shit, and he's done all of it. So yeah. So basically, there was like this episode where there is a VTuber in Law and Order. So there's, the TV show Law and Order, and there was a episode where a VTuber streamer was featured, fake one, obviously, but it was very interesting to see a TV show featuring a VTuber like this. I mean, I don't really follow the VTuber community, as you know. I kind of do my own thing and just vibe on the side after a long week of work. But seeing that my rigging artist did something that's really fucking cool, it's nice to just share it to people in my chat. Like, hey, this guy made the VTuber model, or rigged the VTuber model along with his friend to make it work well, and that was pretty fucking cool. I wonder if you guys, are interested in that or anything, but yeah, if you do want a VTuber model, commission this dude. He's really good. He's really good at rigging it together. So, anyways, that's my little thing that I want to talk about. Congrats to him for getting this offer and being able to show off a model on a TV show. That's pretty fucking cool. Anyways. So, fuck, do I run the ad break now? Okay, before I run the ad break, let's just actually talk about what I'm gonna be doing for the first half of the stream, because there is something that I was going to do, but it is not possible because of a problem. You see, if you guys don't know, today is Easter Sunday, and for those of you who don't know what Easter is, it's the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It's a very important holiday for the Catholic people. Why am I talking about this so much? Well, first of all, I'm not Christian. And second of all, stores were closed. So basically, there's this project that I wanted to work on that basically turns my Game Boy Advance that I modded a month ago, or a couple months ago, into a USB controller. And the reason why is because I want to be able to stream Game Boy games. However, I also want to play those games using the hardware. I found that the best way to do this, apart from HDMI modding my Game Boy or making a brand new Game Boy, is simply just to use the emulator for the Game Boy Advance. But the problem is that there's no real controller support or way to use my Game Boy Advance as a controller. So I went for the next best option. Sorry, I can't speak. I basically decided, hey, why don't we find there's a project here that converts a Game Boy Advance into a USB input device. So I'm like, you know what? That's actually a pretty damn good idea. And this basically uses a Raspberry Pi Pico, which is a microcontroller. It's a very, very small computer that can just execute programs that are placed onto it. And all that does is it allows the Game Boy to boot into a sort of software bridge that allows you to just control through the Pico. The Pico interprets the Game Boy Advance's signals and it sends it over USB, which is pretty fucking cool. And the only problem is I needed the Raspberry Pi Pico. And since it's Easter, I scheduled a reservation for pickup at Micro Center, and they were closed. They have my pickup ready, but they were closed. So I was gonna do this today, like right now, but I guess I can't do it.Maybe I'll do it in a few weeks, or I'll just do it as like a standalone video or something. But yeah, I mean, it's just a bummer because I would have loved to do this with you guys on stream. Get a nice little link cable, connect it up to my Game Boy, and see if it worked at a USB. Whatever. But yeah, so this is the project that I was trying to run, which inadvertently I couldn't run because I'm a fucking dumbass. I really should have gone yesterday, but again, as you know, yesterday I streamed again, and that was like right after coming back from a friend's hangout, so I really just had no time to go out anywhere else. I also had a shift that day as well, so that was even more fun. Yeah, if you guys don't know, I did work 6 days a week for a few weeks, and that was a very, very fun time. 6 days a week work week sucks ass. I never recommend it. It's like you don't have any time to yourself unless you like absolutely love your job, which I do. I like my job, but sometimes it can get a little bit on my nerves. It's difficult. Again, my job is in medicine, hospital, so it gets a little bit tough. Anyways, so yeah, but the one component I got, rather than the Pico we're not going to be doing anything. The Pico we're not going to be doing anything with today. I did get the link cable, and for the link cable, I'm going to attempt to tear this bad boy apart, and I'm going to show you why the link cable why I'm doing this on stream, because I'm just going to show you guys what I ordered and what I actually got. So if you guys don't know, while I'm setting up my hand cam, the Game Boy link cable is basically multiplayer before online multiplayer. You connected two Game Boy consoles together, usually Game Boy Advance or GB consoles together, and in the game, you selected that you wanted to play in like a 1 or 2 player mode, right? And in the game, you basically paired the link cable, and this is the terminology that they used back in the day before 2020. They have the Master Game Boy, which has the game, and the Slave Game Boy, which doesn't have the game, but is connected to the Master Game Boy via a link cable. And this is back when physical devices were a huge thing. So when you plug the Master Game Boy in, it basically acted as the main console. So let me pull up my iPad as well. So the main console was able to stream the game, and it made it so that only one person had to own the actual game in order to play it. Nowadays, that's not the case, you know, when it comes to like stuff with the Switch. Everybody has to own their own copy of the game, unless you play like local multiplayer or something. And then internet came along, internet gameplay, internet multiplayer, and the rest is really history as to how things grew over time in terms of gaming. But yeah, let me just show you what I mean. So first, you have your, let's just use the terminology that they use, the master system, and then the slave system, right? Again, outdated terminology. So then we have this red cable called the link cable. And the link cable is a bridge. It sends serial data over the cable. There are various points that basically synchronize the two Game Boys together. So I'll draw a couple of arrows here. And this allows for real-time multiplayer gameplay. So by having real-time multiplayer, it allowed for the Game Boy to, you know, stand a cut above everyone else. And when the DS came out, Wi-Fi became a thing and everything else was history, right? The Game Boy, as I stated in yesterday's stream, is probably one of the last consoles to, you know, be more on the analog and 90s side of things, whereas the DS was the real step into the 2000s where we started getting more modern ways to connect with each other, which is pretty good, right? It's pretty nice. But yeah, so today I'm just gonna be showing you guys this. So let me just set up the hand cam in a second. Hand cam. I have so much shit open. I apologize. I was installing a few games on my Game Boy as well, playing with databases and stuff like that. Get a little bit hairy, that's for sure. Alright. Oh shit, we got an ad. Alright. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run this ad real quick, and then we'll be 30 minutes ad free. So let me just run this, and we'll be right back. Alright, so while that's going, I'm just gonna set my webcam. I apologize to all you non-sub people, but ads fucking suck. I wish they were blocked forever. And I'm also gonna show you the bird's nest of my fucking desk when I was trying to debug this before I start stream. That was fun. Oh shit, why did I just put my webcam? Oh fuck. Put in my foogies. There we go. Okay. Cool. There's my webcam. You can see. Oh, is it upside down? Hold on. I think it's upside down. Let me fix that. Yeah, that's why. Okay. There we go. Much better. Yeah, you can see that I have like a bird's nest on my fucking desk. I'm gonna clean this up. We got a multimeter. We got the... I don't know why the fuck I have this mini USB cable. Let me get that out of the way as well. Then we have... Alright, these tweezers... This tweezer cap has seen better days. Hey Tyler, what's up? Tweezer cap has definitely seen better days. Jeez. Let me also move the multimeter out of the way. We don't need you right now. And we also don't need the soldering iron. Again, as I showed yesterday, we got all the Pokemon games soldered properly, so... We got all the Pokemon... Sorry, I can't speak tonight. Sorry, it's just difficult. I replaced the battery on my friend's Pokemon games yesterday, so if you want to see how that was done, you could check out last stream. But for today, looks like we need wire cutters. Alright, ad break's over. So yeah, as I was saying before, yesterday we replaced 3 Pokemon cartridges. And by that, I mean we replaced 3 batteries in Game Boy cartridges that my friend gave me. So those are done. As you can see, all the old batteries are in here. And if you want to see how that process was done with the reusable battery holder, you can check out the VOD from yesterday on YouTube or Twitch, whichever platform you prefer. But yeah, here is the Game Boy. And this is the link cable that I was mentioning before. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and examine this link cable. And let me talk about why this link cable is weird. So you see... Oh shit, Monomi's sleeping. Okay. So I'm going to let my phone focus here. It can focus. Hello? You didn't really see it? Yeah. Okay, so you can see that this link cable has 6 holes, right? There's originally supposed to be 6 holes and 6 pins on this cable. But you can see that there are only 4. And to make it even better, there are 4 more pins on the other side, but they're in a different connection orientation. This is because the Chinese manufacturer of this link cable cheaped out. Or maybe they didn't want to get sued by Nintendo or something. I have no fucking idea why. But basically, they only included the pins that are useful for playing games. They didn't include the pins that Nintendo had on the original link cable. I don't know why. I mean, it could be patent. It could just be they were cheap. But how cheap is it to include a few sets of pins? I don't understand. But let's just look at the GBA Pico package real quick. I'm just going to show you what I mean. Okay. So you can see here on this diagram that we need to connect 4 wires to this breakout board here. And we need to figure out which wire goes to where. Now, the problem is with that link cable that I have, we have a problem. Those 4 wires look a little bit difficult to find, so we're going to try and find them. And we'll see how it goes from there. In addition, I found this guide from this random webpage. I have no idea how I found this, I'm not going to lie to you. So this webpage here talks about the link cable itself, right? So you can see it has the pins, as mentioned before. And you can see the reference pins here. And here's a link cable with 6 pins, as originally intended, as God intended. Now we get to the other side of the link cable, where we see that there are these different number of pins, these Chinese-made link cables. And this is what happens from inside. So you can see the change here. And now there's this like big end and small end. On the Amazon listing, I found that the big end, which is this end with 4 pins. Shit, how can I show you guys? Yeah, here you go. These 4 pins located here is the big end. And the little shape here is the small end. So we're going to be plugging the small PP end into the Game Boy. It's a little bit finicky. There we go. So that's in the Game Boy port. And now we need to snip the big end. So again, these are like $3. I can just buy them again. I don't really care. So I got some wire cutters. We're going to be cutting this bad boy off. And to do so, all we got to do is just... That was really easy. Okay. That actually melted when I cut it. Holy shit. What the fuck? Okay, whatever. So here we go. Try and strip this. Damn, that needs like a different stripper. Fuck. Oh, did I get it? Ooh, I might have stripped a little too much there. Oh, shit. All right, let me bring this closer to me so I can strip it easier. This is a very, very fragile cable. Jeez. All right, so let's just do this. Okay. Maybe I need a knife. Let me get one. Might be easier than the wire stripper. 1 second. Actually, wait. What the flush cutters for? Let's see. Man, cheap plastic is insane. Okay. I gotta be very careful here to make sure I don't fuck anything up. Let me get the 22 gauges. Let's see. Okay. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Do you guys know how to strip wire? And not in the... Oh, I think I got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, perfect. All right, so here are the 4 wires in this guy. So, as you can see, there aren't 6 wires in here. There's 4, which is great. Jeez. All right. So now that we have 4 wires, we need to figure out what goes where. And I guess the best way to test this is using a multimeter. Let me just sandwich this guy all together. Could probably get some long. I'm gonna probably make this a bit longer. So I guess the way to do it is to go in a circular motion and pull up while continuously moving in a circular motion so that the wire gets cut. I guess this is a way how to do it without a proper wire stripper. That doesn't fit this gauge. Oh shit, okay. Got it, okay. Just clean this up. Hello, Hika. What's up, what's up? I love how I'm doing this as we all got work tomorrow. Alright, so here's a spider nest of wires. Is this the same cable that was on the Brave page? Let's see. Oh my god, it is. Wait, this is the exact same cable. Bruh. That's kind of crazy. Wait a minute. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. So that makes our life easy. I don't know what all these colors are, though. I'm gonna look at the YouTube video that this project provides. Let's see. Alright, let's see this YouTube video. And, of course, it's not playing. Hello, YouTube, do you want to fucking work? There we go. Bruh, why does my YouTube not want to work today? Okay, so it looks like this person is a legitimate link cable. Fuck. Damn it. Okay, I might need to buy a different link cable here. Okay. So let's see what the big end is. Alright, so the points we need are... Where the fuck did the GitHub go? Not that. Okay, I gotta get this link cable. Probably buy that off of Amazon or something. GBA Pico gamepad. So we need serial in, SI, SC, ground, and SO. Okay, I'm not sure if we have those wires in this cable. So let's see. So this big end is 6, 4, 5, and 3. Okay. So that means ground is there. Okay, so we got the ground pin. That's probably the black cable. So ground, then SI, SO, and SC. Oh. I don't have SO, I guess. Wait, what the fuck? Why do I not have that? Okay, that's interesting. Let's just strip these wires real quick. I'm gonna test this with a multimeter. Might make it easier. I also have like a link cable tester. Should make this easier as well. So let's just give these a little strip. These are obviously 32 gauge wires because they are very, very tiny. Whatever, it should be fine. I just want to check the polarity of these wires. I just want to check the location of these wires anyway. Doesn't really matter. Alright, there's 2. There's 3. This guy out. Okay. And then the last one. This white one. And again, I don't think I need to solder these wires just yet. Alright, so we got 4 contact points. Get my helping hands out. Okay. I'm gonna grip these 4 wires in here. Just like that. And we also need to get a probe set on these guys, so it's gonna be a bit tough, but it should be fine. I'll pop on the Game Boy, because I have a test program here that could be used to test where each wire goes. Multimeter. Maybe I should probably just test continuity, see what goes where. But okay. Let's launch the link cable tester. Okay. So you can see, sorry, you can see right here that when I press the buttons, one of the values changes from 0 to 1. This sends a small voltage spike across the link cable so that we're able to see what goes where. All right, so if I put the black port, so I'm assuming the black cable is ground, so we're gonna figure that out real quick. Okay. We're gonna put this on ground. How do I do this? I need an extra hand here. See if I can get the... Honestly, I'm probably just gonna order the 6 wire one. Makes it easier, but we gotta figure out which pin goes where. That's a little tough. I need something that keeps the pressure down on the button. Or I need some way to tape... Let's just do this. I'm gonna get some Captain tape, I'll be right back. Okay. So now, got the captain right here. If I get the captain tape, cut it with a scissor. I'll just cut with the flush cutters, I don't really give a shit. And tape it to that the supposed ground wire. We should be okay. I guess this Chinese cable wanted to save money by saving on the amount of wires it wrapped or some shit. I have no fucking clue. What is it with Chinese companies and stupid shit, you know? Keep that wire to the probe there. A little bit tough to do. Well, let's see. Probably should strip more of the... Yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna do that. There's more of the black wire here. And then I put it nicely on the probe. Fuck. Doesn't look like it's fitting. Damn it. Bring it closer. You have to keep it on the tip of the probe in order for it to actually sense properly. Okay, I think we're good. Problem is getting to the other 3 wires and seeing which one. Okay. Is that touching? Yeah, okay. Well, I'm gonna actually turn it on. Swap the voltage mode. Looks like we got something. Ooh, okay. Okay, looks like we're getting something out of this. It's good. This, and then the... I just move all the wires out of the way here. Perfect. Let's hold one button. Okay, so it is working. We are sending a 3-volt pulse whenever I put a probe here. You can see that on the screen. So let's work on the red wire. Okay, well, that's very fucking helpful. Considering I have no fucking idea. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it looks like the white wire is serial in. Serial out. To be any of these wires? This one up here. Yeah, that looks to be any of them. Serial clock must be the red wire. Green wire. Nope. Nope. So it's the red wire that's for serial clock. Okay, and then for serial SD, what is that one? Must be the green one. Yes. Okay. Okay. Alright, so... I think this wire should be fine for the mod. Let's take a look at it again. I'll write down which color corresponds to what in a second, but I think this should be okay. Let me just see. Okay. Alright. So I'm trying to find the damn GitHub window, sorry. Okay, so we have SI, SD, and SO. Alright, so SO is any wire. Alright. And we already have a ground wire. So this looks okay. This looks like this looks salvageable. Let's just put this back under the tape here. I also need to get all those wire threads out of there as well. Shit. See, doing a pin-out diagram is pretty easy when you think about it. Because, you know, using a multimeter and tester program like this helps it make it so easy just to map out where all the pins are. Really nice. Okay, good. So that ground wire is connected. Pretty well, if I might add. Get my iPad out. I'm just gonna write this down in my notes doc. All right. So link cable. Oh, let me actually show this on the stream. Hold up, sorry guys. There we go. I'm gonna put it like over here near the chat box. All right, so what we're doing is we're looking for serial out is any of these. So that's SO. Then we have SI, SD, SC. Okay. And we're assuming the ground wire is black again. I mean, it looks like it is, considering as to what I'm seeing here. Okay. Grab my positive probe. I'm gonna hit this one. SI goes to 1. Yep, that's 3 volts. So SI, serial in, is equal to white. So the white wire is serial in. And we're gonna test the clock wire. I think that's red. Yep. So serial clock is red. And ground is black. And then by process of elimination, what's SD stand for? Is it SO or S? I have no idea. Let's see. Oh, it's S. No, SD. Alright, serial double. I don't know what the fuck that means. Serial double, which is the right trigger on this test tool, should be green, typically. Get the green wire out here without nudging the black wire too much. Oh, there's the green wire. So I'm kind of leaning at a weird angle here. Alright, there we go. Confirm that SD is green. Okay. So now, if we take that, and we link it to the thing that we had in the GitHub page. Let's go back. So we have we have the correct stuff being shown here. And just get the capture up. All right. So serial out. All right, that's any wire. So that's the one we can replace with any of these. So serial in is required. So we have that. We have a ground wire. Serial double we don't need. So this will probably be the serial out wire. And serial clock we need, which we have. Okay, so this gives us the proper pinout of the actual project here. So let's see. If we can get serial out on green, we should be chilling. We get 3 volts. Negative 3, but it's pretty much the same. I think just the polarities are reversed. That's fine, though. Okay, cool. Alright, that was that. We successfully pinned out a link cable. I was gonna do this by myself. I felt like it would be nicer on stream to do. Let me just check. What the fuck is this switch test mouse option? Let's see. The good news is that the link port works on my Game Boy as well. So once I get the Pico, I'm gonna solder this bad boy up and we should be good. Let me just boot this guy. Okay, this doesn't matter. Okay, cool. Alright. I'm gonna... I think I should probably solder these wires to be safe. I'm just gonna grab these off camera and just twirl them. So again, remember, when you're soldering a wire, you twirl it, you dip it in flux, and then you add some solder, to unify all of the strands, the copper strands. So that, therefore, the wire is one piece when you're actually using it. Makes it so much easier to handle. Hey Dong, how you doing? Good time zone, good time zone. Let me get this soldering done, then I'll head to the typing study. Again, messing with a link cable. Just mess with a multimeter to get some pin out. We could just solder these wires up. Oop, that green strand is not having a good day. Okay. Yeah, when I go into the Pico, this looks like it could be enough. If I need more length, I'll just get more length. It's fine. This cable is really fucking long as is, so should be pretty easy to solder in. What I'm gonna do now... Honestly, don't need the helping hands. I'm gonna get rid of those. Alright, let's get the flux out. Just gonna dip each wire in this nice little flux bath here. That one goes in. This one go in. And these two will also go in. Wire looks nice. Let me power on the soldering iron and just put some extra solder on this guy. Shouldn't take too long. It takes like 2 seconds to get a wire soldered. This is so that when I actually get to soldering this on the Pico, I won't have to worry about, you know, the wires fraying or messing up. Okay, let that heat up. Get the vent ready. Okay. Well, yeah, everyone lurking, everyone chatting. Hope everyone's ready for work Monday tomorrow. Emotional damage. Yep. That's right. Alright. Cool. So, that was easy. As you can see. Or maybe not see, because this fucking shitty-ass webcam. All the wires are soldered nicely. Means that we do not have to worry about them coming apart when I actually get this mod all sorted. Alright. That's one task done. I missed the throw. Fuck. Unplug this. Jeez. Get out. Okay. Cool. So pretty soon I'll be able to stream some Game Boy games with you guys. That should be fun, right? Obviously, and just for the people that just came in, let me explain what my plan is, and just let me know what you guys think about my plan, right? I like to hear your thoughts all the time, don't worry. I'm not like one of those streamers like, ooh, chat's bad, chat sucks. So you guys are great, I love you guys. Alright. In a platonic way, of course. Unless, I'm kidding. VTuber Bri doesn't platonically love his chat? Oh my god. Sacrilege. Alright, let's flip this over. Whoa, Windows, chill, bro, what the fuck? Oh god. My OBS just took a fucking tumble. God damn. Alright. Here we go. So, basically, the goal is to stream GBA games. So that's the goal, right? I want to stream GBA games on Twitch for you guys. The problem is that this little fucker right here, as you can see, there is no way to capture from this thing, right? We have a Type-C port, we have a link port, and that's it, right? There's nothing else here. We have a cartridge port. But yeah, nothing else. So there's a couple of things that could be done, right? GBA no capture. there's a couple of things that could be done, right? Number one is HDMI mod the GBA. I'm getting there. HDMI mod the GBA, right? But that's not possible through A, it's bulky as fuck, and B, the display that I'm using currently doesn't support. So you need a display that supports an HDMI breakout board. And even then, the quality would be pretty crap compared to just using, you know, an emulator, for example. So that's the problem with the HDMI mod. The second thing, and again, I also don't want to alter my existing display. It's a really good display, and it has good color modes for playing in the dark and stuff like that, so it's really good. The second option is build a second GBA, which I do have a board for. I do have a Game Boy, another board that I fixed up and added Type-C to, which should work perfectly fine. But the problem is, again, if I build another GBA, I gotta get the display, I gotta add the HDMI mod, I gotta get another case, and you see where that goes from there. It's fucking expensive, and also kind of defeats the portability aspect that I had with my current console, because if I'm just using two consoles, what the fuck's the point? I want to be able to take this anywhere and use it. That's where number 3 comes into play. Okay, fuck off, ad break. No one cares about you. That's where number 3 comes into play, which is what Dung said. Just use an emulator. Which is probably the most cost-effective solution. Right? You download the emulator, I run my games, bingo bango, everything's solved. But the only problem is the controller, right? They're the controls. The controls are not native. I can't just hook up my Game Boy like a USB device, can I? Well, I can. With the Pico project that I was showing previously. This allows me to hook up my Game Boy as a USB controller. So therefore, I'm able to play with my native hardware, just like I would a normal Game Boy, but also use the GBA emulator, which is exactly the perfect way to do this. So Pico USB fixes this. And that's it. So that's why I'm going with this option. What do you guys think? You think this is the best option to do? It's also a pretty fun mod and really cost effective. Just for like an overview as to how much this cost, the link cable was about $3, right? Assuming that this Chinese one works. And then the Pico board, the Raspberry Pi Pico, was also $3. So this was the Raspberry Pi Pico 2. That's $3. The unfortunate thing is that it's connecting via micro USB, but honestly, there are USB-C Pico boards out there, which I might get. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so you can see here that it's pretty cost effective. You just pay like, what, $6, and you got your old Game Boy Advance as a USB controller right out of the gate. Pretty nice. Yeah. That is my foray into link cables. Again, I'll either make a YouTube video about the mod itself or just do another stream doing the actual mod. But yeah, I'm probably going to do it this week. I'm not sure when. It'll be done soon, though. Okay. Let's run the ad break. Then I'm going to pivot over to the typing test, which you guys are, I guess, I could definitely assume you guys are anxiously waiting for the results. Some of you guys, others just don't give a shit, but that's okay. All right, so let's run the ad break, get the shit out of the way, get another 30 minutes of stream time, and we'll go from there. All right. Let me get some water. There we go. Okay. I gotta shut up my camera. There we go. And I'm just gonna pull up the Google Sheet. So give me 1 second. So if you guys weren't here yesterday, I compiled everything into a Google Sheet, which made it way easier to see like what the results were. So I'm gonna wait for the ads to finish before we continue. I'm glad I covered all the cybersecurity nonsense yesterday, because that usually takes up a big part of my stream, to be honest. I mean, it depends on if I'm talking about cybersecurity stuff or not that stream, but I usually do, because there's a lot of shit that happened, and yeah, it was pretty cool. I don't know, how do you guys like my new board repair stuff, where I, do hardware, things like that? I hope you guys find it interesting, because, you know, I'm a software guy, mostly. Pretty cool, thanks. I'm mainly a software guy through and through. I've always worked on software for a very long time, and doing stuff with hardware is kind of new to me, and learning how to solder and stuff like that. So, yeah, as I said before, I'm probably gonna make a video on how to solder, how to desolder, stuff that I've learned in the past few weeks about each thing. And some of my techniques might be great, some of them might not be great, but at least from a hobbyist perspective, somebody who's just getting into soldering, I feel like it's a good idea to make a video for people who, you know, don't really have the fancy microscope equipment and stuff that most professional board repair people have. Or electronics, I don't fucking know. Okay, so I guess we're back. Let's talk about the typing study. Before we talk about the study results, let's just explain what the typing study itself is. Okay? So basically, last Saturday, when the stream happened, I posed a hypothetical, not hypothetical, I posed a hypothesis, right? As Gen Z doctors, as Gen Z takes over medicine, we will type more and dictate less. And that is simply because Gen Z has been growing up with computers and phones and has been in the digital realm for so long that typing is just second nature to us. In fact, typing is like way better than writing for most people in Gen Z, is what I predicted, right? We're gonna be starting to type out our soap notes really quickly, become way more efficient with that stuff. No need to have anything fancy, just type everything away and you're good to go. So this is when, I believe it was Hika, was talking about, you know, hey, maybe that's not the case. And so, I did my typing speed test on Monkey Type, which measured the words per minute. And I'll get into why that's not exactly an accurate metric in a bit, but we talked about words per minute. And from there, I decided to be like, you know what? Let's do a study. We're gonna stratify a sample of X amount of participants into 3 categories, 3 age groups. So we have the young people, 18 to 24, 25 to 34, and 35 and up. This is what I assume my audience was mainly composed of. People who are, oh my god, OBS, what the fuck? People who are young, right? Or just turned as an adult. People who are, you know, middle, like in terms of online terms, middle-aged, and people who are hags, right? So we're just gonna make those the categories. Young, mid, hag. Right? Perfect. So those are the 3 categories. And I asked in Monkey Type, record your first attempt. So your first attempt, I want to see what a cold start words per minute was. And that first attempt was the result that was recorded in the study. Anyone who did like a second attempt or something like that, I just threw it out because that's going to confound the data. And some people just voluntarily rejected the study because they had a physical disability or something, which is understandable. That could definitely confound the data as well. I'll talk about possible confounders and why this study is not that great as well. But let's go into the results, all right? Drumroll, please. Okay. So yesterday I made this spreadsheet. And it's a pretty nice spreadsheet, as you can see. Maddie would be very proud of what I've made. It's a beautiful Excel spreadsheet here. Can I zoom in? Yes, I can. So here are all of the scores from various platforms. The platforms I gathered here are from the Royal Lab Discord, and Twitter. Those were mostly it, right? I gathered from different populations. Oop. So the populations were Tabby API, so people that use my LLM software, Stream Chat, so you guys, and Twitter. Anybody who's on my Twitter feed was able to contribute. However, the Twitter side, that's Joshua's thing. The Twitter side didn't really get too much traction compared to my Discord. Discord had way more people talking about this, and I appreciate every single one of you for contributing here. All right. So I wrote down all of the results, and surprisingly, all of these results were pretty decently stratified. There's no like huge bias towards 18 to 24, no bias towards 25 to 34, no bias towards 35 plus, right? Nothing at all, which is pretty fucking sick. right? That's pretty cool. So this kind of explains my audience more than anything. Like, I know a lot of you guys are more into this range, especially Hika, fucking hag, but some of you guys are here, and that's pretty cool to see, like, a diverse amount of people watching my content. That's pretty sick. But yeah, so we can see, I feel like the best way to check what the average words per minute was amongst each three of the groups was to just compute the average. So in Excel or Google Sheets, you could do equal to average of a set of cells. So I did average of A2 to A9, average of B2 to B10, and average of C2 to C9. And you can see, pun not intended, right here, that we have a pretty even average between the young people and the quote-unquote middle-aged people, where the middle-aged people had an average score of 104 words per minute from a cold start, and young people had an average of 102 words per minute from a cold start. Then we have the 35 plus, which had a average words per minute of 97 from a cold start. Okay. Again, if we make a chart, if we plot this out, I'm sure it'll look very interesting. We can make a scatter plot right now, actually. Let me try making one. That, I don't know how to do charts on Excel. I mean, Google Sheets. Insert chart. Oop, what? Oh, shit. Okay. Scatter plot, scatter plot. Here we go. Okay. Okay, scatter plot really doesn't tell too much. I think we have to make like multiple scatter plots. Hold on, let me just fix this. Let's grab this. Let's do chart. Okay. Then let's make this a scatter plot. And as you can see, there's no correlation. So, how do I really measure this? I'm not really sure. I mean, what I could say for sure is that looking at the individual results alone, they all are very scattered across the board. So my theory of younger people will type faster is incorrect. 100% incorrect, because you see that some people have 67 words per minute, others have fucking 149 words per minute. How? Listen. I don't know what fucking crack you're smoking. How in the ever-loving fuck are you typing 149 words per minute? What in the actual hell? 149 is insane. Okay? And my score landed here at 117. So this was me. I'm just gonna show who I was in this study. This is my words per minute as just a streamer control. But you can see right here that, Jesus Christ, there's a huge stratification. It's obvious on all of the sides of the board. So my initial theory that Gen Z is going to type faster is just factually incorrect at this point. It just really depends on the person, right? Because we got people in the 25, the old person age group, typing at fucking 163 words per minute from a cold start. That's insane. Like, how are people typing at 163 words per minute? I don't even know. And then we got some people that typing at like 63 words per minute. So that's a different story, right? So you can see. So yeah, that's pretty much it, right? We got, and then on the 35 plus side, we got 59, 85. We got someone doing 132 words per minute as well, which is insane, 140 words per minute. But then we got a couple of 50s here. So I guess the reasonable median, yeah, we could do a median. Is there a median function on Excel? There is, okay, cool. All right, so there's the let's do the medians. And we're gonna do to BTAD actually. Yep. All right. Okay, there we go. So that's okay, good on you, Hika. All right, so with the median as the representative for our averaging out of things, we find the midpoint, and we see that in 96, 101, and 102.5. So with the median, the 35 plus category wins out. But I feel like the mean would make more sense here due to the sheer amount of people in each category. Like, we only have 8 people. Yeah, 8 people here, 9 people here, and 8 people here. So I feel like the mean would be better representative of this value because it works better with a smaller data set versus the median, which probably requires a wider number. Let me just make sure that's the case. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure with statistics, but with a smaller... Any statistics people can tell me. Alright, let's just see. Oh, apologies, yeah. Oops. No, the median makes more sense. with a larger. Sorry, I reversed the two. My bad. My bad. I'm curious. Did you have typing classes? Yeah, yeah. So I want to talk about other stratifiers. Typing classes would be it. Yes, I did have typing classes when I was younger, and I also, you know, self-taught myself through my career. So there's a couple of things we could talk about, but yeah. So for this one, the median is way better. So I'm gonna put mean here, and I'm gonna put median here. So if we use the median as the measure of center, we could see that the older generation actually is faster at typing than the younger, but we can also see that there's a not much variance. Like we have 96, 101, 102. It's not much. That's not much variability in the way of like, oh, if 18 to 24 is like average of 120, that would be a different story. But it seems like everybody is more or less equal. Okay, so basically the conclusion I could draw from this study is pretty simple, right? It's pretty simple. I mean, I want to ask the chat, what conclusion do you draw from this study? Always 6 words per minute range, right? Yeah, that's the thing. The conclusion I mainly draw from this study here is that it doesn't really matter the age. Like, as people get younger, there's still going to be some people who don't know how to type as well as other people. Just like in 35 plus and 25 to 34 has been proven in previous ages that, you know, some people can type better than others simply because of their background, what they learned, and things like that. So rather than my sweeping statement of Gen Z will make things, make voice dictation obsolete, pretty wrong. I admit that based on this study. That's why I did it, right? Also to low-key see who's in my audience, but yeah. All right, so let's look at the problems with this study, because I think there are a lot more problems than conclusions that could be made from here. I know the real confounder people who watch you are chronically online. That is true, actually. But people who watch me aren't necessarily chronically online, because myself, unlike other, you know, streamers and VTubers, I have a base for people who, you know, aren't necessarily online or in the VTuber sphere. They more so work offline, big labs, big health practices, AI and stuff like that. That's who views me, not necessarily chronically online, but more so people who are programmers, right? Computer programmers. And I'll talk about that as another confounder. So let's go to monkey type, right? Okay, just to celebrate it, let's do a quick typing test. Fuck it. All right, I'm gonna be quiet for here. Oop. Didn't. Sorry. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. Same as before. But yeah, so as you can see with monkey type is not words per minute is not really a good measure in terms of practicality, because let me just show you what a medical soap note would look like. All right, so let's go into Notepad. Actually, fuck it, I'm gonna go into Zed. I'm not using Notepad. Oop. Okay. So this is what a soap note would look like. So we have the what do we start with? So I didn't enter a mouse at soap note. Might as well. So we have the subjective. All right. Then we have the overnight events. So no events noted today. Blah blah blah. Like patient, mentating, well, etc. And then we have brief hospital course. Patient entered. ED, BIB, EMS, 320, CT 321, periorbital, or sorry, lobar, consolidation, etc. Then we could go into ROS, NHPI, objective, physical exam. Then you have like the general appearance. And you can already see I'm fucking up here. Then we have cardio, home, skin, extremities, renal, or sorry, urinary. Then we have the assessment. We have the pneumonia, then amoxicillin plus azithromycin, or sorry, zith. Monitor. So you can see, right, and then we have dispo. I don't know, it's like a very shitty soap note, but you can see here that it became less like just random words and more, you know, actual words, punctuation, everything that's not really representative on a words per minute test. So, for example, with cardio, we have medical abbreviations. So, Gregorian rhythm, no MRG. Oh, sorry, normal, S1, S2, no S3, S4, RRR, no MRG, PMI, non-displaced. So these are all parts of a SOAP note that you can make, and these are actual words and abbreviations. This isn't like monkey type, where you got random words just showing up all over the place. And that's a small issue, right? Oops, that's the wrong window, sorry. And that's the issue with this test. It's because it doesn't exactly test real-world performance. It just tests based on an existing words per minute metric. Now, what you can do is you can write out a quote. There's a way to customize, right? So you can change this. You can force it to have punctuation, make it look like an actual sentence. And yeah. So there's a lot more that you can do here. Long quote, big boy quote. But a reason why I did just straight up time is because this website makes it really easy to just start typing right away. So that's the first confounder. Words per minute isn't fully representative of actual words. Okay, so let me write this all down. Okay. Okay. So then we got the confounders, or problems. First problem is words per minute is not real world. So when you're trying to claim that, hey, Gen Z would be faster to write SOAP notes, words per minute might not be the exact thing to look at. It's more so just like timing how fast a SOAP note can be written for the same patient across multiple people. That would make way more sense. Number two is what Hika said previously, the population. The easier way to get a better population would just be to ask anybody. Not my viewership, not my coding buddies, not that area. Just ask as many people as I could across multiple fields, whether it be the person I meet on the street or the person I talk to in the hospital or you guys on stream. It would allow for more stratification between various different population groups, so I would be able to accurately classify whether or not, based on age, someone would be able to type quickly. So in my case, the population was, as Hika said, chronically online. But more importantly, people in computer science. Computer science is very well known for having people that are fast typers. In fact, it's one of the ways people on Twitter measure themselves to just show off. They use word per minute tests. Some of the greatest developers don't type that fast. I know a developer who writes really amazing code and types at like 60, 50 words per minute. You don't need to be a good developer to type fast. Hey Nemu, what's up? I know you're sick. Hopefully you're feeling good, all right? And yeah, hopefully you can just chill and watch the stream. Welcome in though. But yeah, so computer science has a lot of fast typers. And then we also have, you're absorbing, sounds good, the medical field. We have Hika, right? Hika, my other med student friends, and they are, you know, usually mid to slow typers. And you, yeah. Again, I showed the sheet earlier. I didn't want to show who specifically had the words per minute just to make things as blinded as possible. But if you want to say your words per minute result, then feel free. All right, so we got med students. Then we also got gamers, I guess. These people can be a mixed bag. Oh, you're med? Wait, you're med? How are you med? What happened? Wait. Yo, no. What happened? What do you mean med? Did you get in somewhere? Oh shit, congrats if you did. Oh, you work in a hospital? Oh, you're actually working now? Listen, the last we talked, you said you were looking for work. But it's good to hear that you work now. That's great. Awesome. Good shit. Welcome to the dark world of ever-loving fucking corporate hell of a hospital. But I'm kidding. That's how I feel about hospitals. But yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. If you ever feel like you're not surviving in a hospital, just talk to me. I'll be happy to talk to you about it. Okay. I'm speaking from experience. Hospital is fucking grueling, dude. I'm going there tomorrow. It's fucking crazy. And I'm not even doing anything to the patients. Bruh. How is saying I'll hit you aggression? Hit you up. Fuck off, Twitch, you stupid... Okay. So gamers would have a mixed words per minute. Because the only keys people who play games really are pressing are W, A, S, and D, and maybe the space bar. That's it. If you could type WASDA in the space bar multiple times, I'm sure everyone had a higher words per minute. But yeah, that's not really something to think about. Okay. So those are the 3 populations I could really think of. If you guys have other populations, let me know. Okay. Now, number 3 is typing classes. Typing classes / background. And we already touched upon background in part 2, but typing classes specifically, what Hika just brought up, is a really good thing to think about, because with millennials, I guess, I know I had typing classes when I was younger in school over multiple years. I started with touch typing, then I moved on to QWERTY typing, and I ended up really learning a lot of the stuff on my own as well. So typing classes in, say, like elementary / middle school really evolved my typing skill so that I was able to type properly on a computer. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. See, Nemu is in my age group, right? And I guess you don't know what a typing class is. So that's interesting, considering that, you know, we're close in age, but one person could just not be a thing in the UK. Yeah, possibly, right? And typing classes in the UK and other places we taught in primary or maybe even secondary school. Don't worry, I know the metric system. I know that you guys think of things differently. But yeah, so typing classes were a thing. I used like this website called Typing Club back in the day. It was pretty good. And my teacher, I loved her so much. She was amazing. My computers teacher. She should definitely be paid more for sure. But, you know, she taught me how to type and it was really helpful. And I think her class plus my dad is one of the reasons, or I guess part of the reasons why I got interested in tech and computers in general, and why I'm streaming right now about tech and computers, is because, you know, I find all this stuff interesting, you know, measuring metrics, talking about technology and stuff like that. And I feel like the inspiration came from earlier developments. My younger age and my history, which I'm not going to talk about because that's a very sad history, but getting out of the morbid area. But yeah, so typing classes are a good confounder because having a standardized education in typing would most definitely improve your speed if you actually gave a shit about it. And it can also just be, you know, you learned it on your own. Like how I learned how to program, right? I didn't go to any formal classes to learn programming. I'm self-taught. I do everything by myself and I figure things out as I go. That's how people probably did it with typing, right? That's how I did soldering. I watched a few YouTube videos and messed around with it and saw how far I got. Skills can be learned by anybody. As long as you have the drive, as long as you have the ability to practice, you can learn any skill that you put your mind to, provided you have enough time and practice to do so. Like, for example, I could learn a musical instrument if I wanted to. I just need to drop everything and start learning that musical instrument as much as I can to get faster results. But I could also learn musical instrument on the side and slowly build up results over time, right? So, same with like learning another language. You need to be able to immerse yourself. So, that sort of thing, you can just learn typing by yourself. I mean, monkey type would be one way to test yourself, but let me see if Typing Club still exists. Pretty good. Cool. Yeah, nice. Okay, so these guys. Oh shit, I'm hiding it, sorry. These guys. Yeah, go on this website here. If you want to learn how to type, these are the people that, oh my god, this is so nostalgic, man. Holy shit. And it's free. and it's completely free. So, you know, you can learn how to type super easily, and it's great. I think everybody should learn how to type properly. That way we'll have less slow typers and less people who, and more people who are computer literate. Because I feel like typing, I don't know if you guys agree with me, I feel like typing is the fastest way to start becoming computer literate in today's time. Like, you see, I don't know if it's just you, if it's just me, but do you guys have your parents ask you about, or your family and your parents just ask you about every single tech question out there? Like, oh my god, how do I do this? How do I do that? Like, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like, oh my god, like, hey son, could you help me with this tech problem? And then we try and help them with the tech problem, they get confused and you have to explain it in simpler terms and shit. If you know, you know. If you know, you know, guys. You know, you know. Like, seriously. But yeah. And, oh, yeah, one more confounder. I think Dung talked about this in the Discord chat. Which is number 4. English as a first language. Some people in this study maybe didn't speak English. I don't know where you came from when you did the study. I just asked you to do the study, and the, you know, main thing is that the typing is in English. These are all English words. Now, again, most of coding is done in English. You're rarely ever going to see coding done in another language. But English is not everybody's first language, so it might be harder to type certain English words. Like, let's look at the Japanese keyboards. All right, I'm just going to look up Japanese keyboards real quick, because these are a whole other animal. Here we go. How Japanese type on their phone. Let me turn off the music here. I want to show you guys this. This is the secondary capture, right? There we go.
Hey guys, it's Yuta. So, typing in English on your phone is very straightforward. I have a phone. I have an Apple.
Oh, fuck off.
You press A and you get A.
Yeah,
get
see?
B and you get B.
So, that's the standard QWERTY layout that we see on everything. So you press the key, you get the letter.
And if you keep typing, autocorrect will find a way to screw up. I personally like using the swiping keyboard to screw things up even further. But
oh, okay, question, guys. Have you guys used a swipe keyboard before? Is that something you guys are into? I've used swipe on occasion, but I always just like typing it with my stupid ass thumbs. But yeah, let's continue.
I personally like using a swiping keyboard to screw things up even further. Okay. But typing in Japanese is a little more complicated because we have so many letters. We have...
Yeah, so what Hika just said... Oops. What Hika just said about typing code in Chinese... Brother, like... There are so many problems here, man. Like, how are you gonna type every single character, bro? It's insane. The Japanese alphabet has so many different ways to type one word. It's crazy. I've used swipe sometimes. Yes, for one hand and normally on swipe. Makes sense. There's also those one-handed keyboards where it just collapses them to that little window thing. That's pretty cool, too.
At least thousands of them, even if you only count the ones we normally use. So, how do you type in Japanese on your phone? First, let me explain a little bit about the Japanese writing system. We use 3 types of scripts: hiragana, katakana, kanji, and emoji.
Okay, I didn't know the emoji part, but that's funny. But, yes, that's right. So, in my weebness, I did see some Japan cool videos, and yes, those are the 3 lettering systems normally used. So in America and most English-speaking countries, you just have the Roman alphabet. I guess that's what you could call it. I guess the English alphabet. Sorry, not Roman. What the fuck am I saying? The English alphabet, right? But in Japan, you got the baby versions of Japanese, and then you got the hard-as shit version. So most tourists can read stuff easily in this if you take some time to learn it. This is where people spend most of their time learning because it is very, very complicated and very tough to read just from the looks of it.
Hiragana and katakana are phonetic. One letter generally represents only one sound.
Yeah, that's what makes it easy.
I, U, E, O. These letters are pretty easy to deal with. You can actually write Japanese entirely in hiragana or katakana. So the problem is kanji, which means Han letter, as in Han Chinese, because we borrowed them from China.
Yeah.
Chinese people often have an easier time learning Japanese because they can recognize these letters,
That's what Hiko was saying.
even though many of these letters have different meanings in Japanese and Chinese. You may be wondering why we use 3 types of scripts when it's possible to write everything in either hiragana or katakana. Well, this is a rather complex topic I have discussed on a number of occasions, but in short, it's because we can, and they look cool in anime.
They look cool in anime, it's crazy. I feel like it's less of a, you know, they look cool and more of like it's just compressing the word. Because you know how Japanese novels, for example, I believe they're vertical? Correct me if I'm wrong, but they are vertical, right? So if you're reading things in vertical, it makes more sense to have less letters on a line rather than writing it all out together. Japanese mixes all 3 and takes psychic damage learning them. Yeah, exactly, right? That makes sense. But yeah, I think they read vertically. Just like, oh no, Arabic reads right to left. Japanese, I think, is vertical. I'm not 100% sure. Let me just read this here. Is Japanese written vertically? Am I stupid? Yes. Okay, can be. Yeah, vertical is traditional. Okay, good. I'm not crazy and I'm not stupid. That's good to know. But yeah, so that's one thing to take note of. So kanji is compressing the letters down so it's easier to write stuff out without having to stretch everything out. This way it takes less letters on the page.
So we use all of these scripts to write Japanese. I've already explained how to type in Japanese on your computer in
we can look at that next.
And you can certainly use that method on your phone as well. But there's a more popular method which we call flick input. This is like an improved version of how you used to type on your Nokia phone. Do you remember how you had to press the
Okay, I'm gonna pause right there because I don't want him to explain it. I'm gonna explain this. This was a thing in the 2000s when phones were starting to grow before the smartphone came out. You had this thing called T9 typing, and for people who are way too young for this, I'm sorry, but you guys are way too young to actually understand what this was. Basically, on these phones, let me just go the Nokia 3310, right? This is the most iconic brick phone. Go here. And this is still present on flip phones as well. If it can load, there we go. Okay, let's find a good picture. Perfect. And then boop. Okay, so you can see here that on the number 2, you have the letters A, B, and C. 3 is D, E, F, G, H, I, yada, yada, yada. So basically when you're texting someone, if you want to type the letter C, you have to click 2 3 times and then hit the next button. That locks in the letter C. And then if you want to type in the letter F, you type 3 times. Say like you want to type in the letter K, you type 5 2 times. And then the list goes on. In 7 and 9, you have to type 4 7s just to get to S and 4 9s just to get to Z. It became, like, people became really skilled at this, but this was huge and cumbersome. And the keyboards we have today on smartphones are leagues ahead of what we had before. In fact, this is what made a certain company sell a lot of phones before it went completely bankrupt. The BlackBerry. The BlackBerry was known for having its full QWERTY keyboard as the time went on. And I think they had touch phones as the smartphone became a thing, but they didn't really catch on compared to the old style BlackBerry phones. And these were iconic back in the day. Like, I remember every work phone, every finance guy's phone used to be a BlackBerry, very sleek, very easy to use, and shit like that. It was pretty cool. But then we also had the QWERTY flip phones, right? So these are the flip phones that, like, if my search engine could work, thank you very much. It's taking a long time to search. I don't understand. All right. So we have these flip phones. I feel like this is a good example. Yeah, this works. So this was the first Android phone, but I think it does this justice. Then we have the first, like, the QWERTY flip phone. So rather than having the T9 keyboard, like this brick here, we have the phone, and it just slid out. So you had this full-size QWERTY keyboard on there, and you could type with that instead. So there are a lot of different ways to handle keyboard input back in the day. And once the smartphone came out, you just had the keyboard on the screen as a virtual keyboard, and that's when everything became standardized. But let's continue with this video. Also, actually, there might be an ad break, so I'm gonna run the ad, and then we'll continue with the video. Sorry, guys. I hate ads, but we gotta do it. I apologize. But yeah, I mean, I've recently been very interested in like 2000s-esque technology. Like, as you can see, I did the Game Boy, and I love looking at iPod videos. I'm not gonna buy another iPod because I don't fucking need one, but I love looking at iPods. I have like my old phones from the 2010s, and 2000s, 2010s technology is a whole different beast, man. Like, you could see so much unique shit. I talked about this yesterday, but you could see, I mean, last week, you could see so much shit from the 2000s, man. So many different ways to do things. Interesting designs, yeah. I mean, I saw a video on YouTube just recently about how everything is so standardized and quote-unquote modernized now that we've kind of removed the joy and the uniqueness from so many different concepts. Like, everything now has to be this specific thing. Otherwise, it's not really, you know, gonna sell. I feel like one example of the colorfulness of today's time is the Playdate console. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this thing, but it's basically just this Game Boy-esque console with a crank handle, and it looks pretty chill, right? And it has like its own specific games that drop every week. Unfortunately, the one thing that stopped me from buying this was that the screen is not backlit. If the screen was backlit, that would be a game changer. Like, I think everybody would be buying this thing. Anyways, let's continue with the video.
Same key several times to get one letter? Didn't you just love it when you missed one letter and had to do it all over again? Well, flick input solves that problem. Each key is assigned with one hiragana. But
holy
instead
shit.
of pressing the same key several times, you can just swipe left, right, up and down to enter any letter. Basically, you can enter any hiragana letter with just one tap or one swiping motion faster than the girl swiping left on the guy on Tinder. This way you can write
that's crazy.
everything in hiragana. But we're not done yet. If you write everything in hiragana, it kind of looks childish, and it's also hard for us to read. For example, many words look identical when you write them in hiragana.
Wait a minute.
Even though they're different.
What? Yo, what the fuck is this? What the fuck? Can somebody please explain to me this concept? What the fuck is this? It's the same markings. I'm not even saying letters, it's the same markings. But they mean different things? What? Is it like pronunciation? Is it context-based? That is so interesting. What the hell? Okay, sorry, let me continue.
Different words, and they look different in kanji. So you need to convert some of these words in hiragana into kanji. This sentence should look like this. And it's actually pretty easy. As you type in hiragana, you will see different suggestions in different letters. So you have to choose the right one. This is similar to when you type in English because letters. So you have to—
Dude, what? So you're telling me that if you type it, you have to start the typing in the baby language, then you get suggestions to type in the big boy lettering system. Okay, let's just let me get this straight. Let me get this straight, okay? So let's say we're typing in Japanese, right? You start with the elementary, the baby alphabet that you have to do swiping to even get the right letter. That's the first thing. Then you use suggestions that translate the letter into the adult alphabet. You can't just type in the adult alphabet because there are so many fucking characters. Wow. There are so many characters just to type. That's crazy. What the fuck? Like, the way to type in English, before this guy says it, the way to type in English is pretty simple. You type the letter, and then you make word. Sometimes you might use the predictive text, or sometimes autocorrect will just do it for you. But these are optional, right? These right here are completely optional. What? And I don't know if Nemu is still in the chat. Is Arabic the same way? Or is it just Japanese that's unique in this way? I'd love to know.
To choose the right one. This is similar to when you type in English because you also see suggestions. But the difference is with English, it's just a way for you to type a little bit faster.
Okay, he does say it. Okay, good.
Autocorrect failure compilations.
Bruh.
But with Japanese, you have to rely on this system because you can't input kanji directly. This is fine
What
as
the
long as
hell,
you want to
bruh?
use common kanji. But as soon as you want to use something uncommon to impress your friends, you're in trouble because you might not be able to find the right kanji among your choices. This often happens with people's names because they tend to use uncommon kanji. Just like my dad's name. Let me actually find my dad's kanji. Okay. Hiro. Okay.
Really?
Lots of choices.
Oh my... What the fuck? Dude, what the you literally you type 2 characters and you go to a fucking scroll menu. Dude, how... Listen, I'm gonna be real with you guys. There is no way in hell that people are using this and they just start texting in hiragana or katakana or something. There is no way in hell that every single time a word is typed, they have to click the predicted value. I feel like this is something AI can help with a lot. Like, hey, here's probably what you were trying to type. Let's correct it. I know like predictive text is a thing in the iPhone. It's really good. I really like it, but this is like sorely needed in this system. Holy shit.
And I can't find it.
Wow.
If you're thinking this is too complicated and you just want to use Google Translate to translate English into shitty, less than perfect Japanese, don't do it. Because if you want to learn Japanese with me, I will teach you the kind of Japanese the real-life Japanese people today actually speak. So click the link in the description and subscribe. And if you get used to it, you can type pretty fast with this method. Let me demonstrate.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, wait, so this is, no, yeah, I mean, I said you can type fast if you get used to it, which I'm not apparently. So, let me show you how average Japanese people
Okay, thank you.
別に会う必要なんてない。しなきゃいけないことたくさんあるし。
Oh, wow, okay.
And if you want to know how しなきゃいけないこと type 別に会う必要なんてない。
Okay. I guess I could try typing this on my phone, but I feel like this would be slower to do in English typing because of just the sheer amount of letters, but interesting that this was really quick.
If you want to know how I type in Japanese on my phone, the answer is I don't. Because I can type faster than them on my computer. And not because I'm always in my room in front of my computer and don't go out except for when I chase random rabbits. But when I really have to type on my phone, I just use a QWERTY keyboard or a voice typing feature. The voice typing feature is pretty useful. I think it's underutilized. よく喋るな、豚野郎. So you have plenty of options when it comes to typing in Japanese on your phone. But if you want to type in Japanese...
Wait, is this using... Okay, this is an Android phone, okay.
But if you want to type in Japanese, you need to learn Japanese first. And if you want to learn Japanese with me, I will teach you the kind of Japanese that...
Okay, so cool. Yeah, that was interesting. I use the Romanized spellings on Japanese on my phone, trying to typing on the actual keyboard's forfeit. I think it's really hard for anyone unless you're like used to it. I think most of the people around the world are way more used to just using a QWERTY keyboard. It's just those language. I wonder how Chinese typing is, or is it like the same thing? Anybody who knows Chinese in the chat? Have you guys ever texted in Chinese? How is it like? Is it similar to this? I have no idea. But yeah, I agree. I mean, for the average English speaker, Romanized Japanese makes way more sense than, you know, seeing the Japanese letter. I think it's similar with pinyin for Chinese, not entirely sure. We can take a look at that after, but I do want to see how Japanese type on the computer. Or how to type Japanese on the computer. Not specifically how Japanese type on the computer. There's two different ways to say the same thing. One way is bordering on racism. The other way is the way I actually want to say. Ah, shit. Okay. Oops.
Hey guys, it's Yuta. So typing in English is pretty easy. I have a keyboard. I have an apple. So you type A and you get A. And you type B and you get B. But typing in Japanese is a little more complicated.
Okay, we're gonna skip through the scripts.
And there was wasn't too confusing, right? If you're curious, please watch it. But anyway, today we use all three types of scripts.
What?
We use kanji for words that are originally Chinese or words that sound like Chinese. And we use hiragana or a mix of hiragana and kanji for words that are originally Japanese.
Dude, what the
and
fuck?
Katakana for other foreign words. So a typical Japanese sentence.
Holy shit.
Like so, how do you type in Japanese? Well, to type in Japanese, you don't actually need a
hold on, wait.
So a typical Japanese sentence would look like this.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm gonna show you guys an XKCD. Where is it? This one. Grabbing. There are 14 competing standards. 14? Ridiculous. We need to develop one universal standard that covers everyone's use cases. There are 15 competing standards. The Japanese did it way before programmers could ever do it. And rather than competing, they just combined them all together and called it, hey, let's do this now. God, no wonder Japanese is so crazy to learn. I commend all of the people that learn Japanese and dedicate their time to it, because honest to God, there is no way in hell. And it's not just me hating the culture or anything. I love Japanese culture. It's really cool, but there is no way in hell you can get me to manage my current life and learn Japanese at the same time. It is impossible. I'd rather stick to computer languages, thanks. I'm sorry.
So, how do you type in Japanese? Well, to type in Japanese, you don't actually need a special keyboard. For example, I just use my US keyboard. And do you remember that you can write everything in hiragana? Well, typing in Japanese starts with writing everything.
Oh, it's the same fucking thing.
Can be represented by the English alphabet.
Oh my God.
A, you get A. If you type KA, you get Ka. And if you type SA, you get Sa. And when you type everything in hiragana, you hit the space key and convert it to kanji or katakana. But very often, the first option is not exactly what you want. So you keep hitting the space key until you find
what the fuck?
And many Japanese words are exactly the same in hiragana, but are
holy shit, dude.
So it's already kind of complicated to get the right kanji. But things can get even more complicated because it's not always obvious how to divide a Japanese sentence. For example, this sentence can be divided into
I got no idea what I'm looking at.
Have different meanings. And your computer doesn't know which one you want because it can't read your mind. So when it divides your...
It can't read your mind yet. You see, AGI is on the horizon, guys. It'll be able to figure it out.
Your sentence the wrong way, you will have to delete everything and try with smaller chunks.
Oh
and
God.
You can actually fix it manually, but I don't usually do it because it can get pretty messy quite easily.
Holy
and sometimes
shit.
you make a mistake because you are only human. But then you will have to delete everything and start again. So it can be pretty frustrating when you just want to finish your work, go home, and waste your time watching cat videos on YouTube. And sometimes you just don't want to use kanji for certain words, so you write everything in hiragana, convert it to kanji, and convert it back to hiragana. I don't know about you, but I find this pretty redundant. And sometimes
no
shortcut
shit.
keys don't work with the Japanese input mode. For example, in my editor, you can press S to split a clip. But if you are using the Japanese input mode, it tries to enter Japanese hiragana, so it doesn't work. And the space key doesn't work either because it tries to enter the Japanese space.
Oh my god.
So you need to switch back to the English.
Did this dude deadass say Japanese space? What is a Japanese space? How's it different from a normal space? Normal being English. What is a Japanese space? Hold on. What? A smaller... Not the space program. Keyboard. What the fuck is a Japanese space? Smaller? Really? What? Okay, well... That's not what I'm looking for. Is this what you mean? Or is it just like the space character is smaller? That's crazy. What? Really?
Input mode. Edit your clips and switch back to the Japanese input mode to put some Japanese subtitles. You may think it's a small thing, but it's pretty annoying when you're trying to concentrate.
It's definitely annoying, I could say that for sure.
That's how you type in Japanese, but don't tell this to Japanese people because many of them don't know European languages enough to understand how mendokusai this is. Ignorance is bliss. But things are actually better than it used to be because Google created pretty good typing software, Google IME. But in the 90s, most people were using Microsoft IME, which can be described as...
What is IME?
So it used to be even harder. But anyway, how about your language?
Okay, let me look this up. What is Google IME? That sounds interesting. So I'm going on like a huge rabbit hole here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. What is Google IME? Damn, why is my search engine so slow today? It's weird. Alright, let me close these meanwhile. I might switch to Google here. No, I think it might be my browser that's slow. Hold on, let me close a few tabs. Okay, that might fix it. What is Google? Yeah, it was my browser. Okay, input method. Alright. Oh, okay, so that's the... Let's see. Input method editors convert keystrokes to another language. IME is represented by a character, blah, blah, blah. So Pinyin IME is a phonetic input method. You type it in, then you can choose... Hiko, you meant this? You meant this? What the fuck is this? You type the words and then you just select the... Oh my... You select from an option of 5. Is it A, B, C, D, or E? Which is the correct pronunciation? Ah! The fuck is that, bruh? Oh my god, man. What the hell? No, man. What the fuck is this? This is even worse than the Japanese one. God. Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess since computers are really an English first thing, it's really just you type English and then we just shoehorned in everything else. I mean, this was like... This is all due to the Unicode standard, by the way. When Unicode wasn't a thing, I guess these characters weren't a thing either. There's just ASCII. You guys don't know what ASCII is, right? It's the stuff that happened before Unicode existed. ASCII is quite literally just all of these. That's it. That's all you can input on a computer. It's literally just American. Completely American. Fuck everyone else. Then Unicode is a full encoding thing. This is what makes emojis work, right? So, okay, so this was made in 1991, and ASCII was made before that. I don't know where the fuck that is, but I believe this really came about when computers first started to take off. So, yeah, probably like 70s, 80s maybe? I'm not sure. I'd be able to look at the date. But damn, that's what IMEs are? Holy shit. That's fucking insane. What the hell? Also, this guy, I like him. I guess if you want to learn stuff about Japanese, that's up to this guy. He looks chill. He looks chill and his videos are pretty good. I liked it. I like that video a lot. Oh yeah, hold on. There was this April Fool's prank from Google. Oh, cool. Perfect. Alright, so this is the Japan. I remember seeing this like back when I was younger, and watching this video made me remember it. There was this April Fool's prank. I'm just gonna, for Japanese people, I'm just gonna show you myself. Let me just show you what it looks like.
近年、スマートフォンやタブレット端末などタッチパネルでの入力を前提としたデバイスが爆発的に普及し、世界的なスタンダードとなりつつあります。日本でもフリック入力方式が我々の生活にすっかり定着しました。操作に慣れると直感的に素早く入力でき
Also, sorry, it's pretty shitty quality, but that's just the video.
るので、もう手放せませんね。でも、これで完璧な入力方式と言えるでしょうか。我々 Google 日本語入力チームは操作性を改善する余地がまだあるのではないかと考え、フリック入力をさらに便利に確実に使用するためのデバイスを開発しました。その新しいデバイスがこちら。Google 日本語入力マジック
It's a fucking hand.
ハンドバージョンです。
They called it the fucking magic hand, bro.
ネイルが邪魔、指紋がついたり油で汚れる。手袋をしていると使えない。指先の毛が。指先たり油で汚れる。
Wait.
手袋をしていると使えない。
Okay, yeah. So you have nails, your phone's smudgy, you have gloves on, or your index finger gets injured. Oh my god, the horror.
指先の反応が悪い。このようなトラブルはすべて解決。あなたの指の代わりにこのマジックハンドがフリックしてくれるのです。使い方は簡単。マジックハンドの前にお手持ちのタブレット
The fucking stand.
と自動的にキー位置を認識。操作スティックを入れると電源が入ります。これで準備完了。Move。タッチ。フリック。これらの操作の組み合わせでスピード感を損なうことなく流れるような入力が可能。画面を指で
Yo, would you guys buy this or no? I feel like once we got to the part where the hand actually extended, that's when people kind of realized it was a joke. Like, watch this.
これで準備
That is definitely not real.
完了。Move。
Maybe it is real and it's just like a very fucking proof of concept just for April Fools, but that did not look real.
タッチ。フリック。
Oh my
これらの
fucking
操作
god,
の組み合
bro.
わせでスピード感を損なうことなく流れるような入力が可能。画面を指でタッチすることに伴うさまざまな障害か。
So wait a minute. So if the little sensor on the bottom connected to the phone, what the fuck is the point of that? Because the hand is doing the input. What the fuck is the point of the sensor then? That makes no sense. What?
からあなたを解放します。さらにハンドの交換でさまざまなカスタマイズが可能。
Oh, they got the left hand now. Oh shit. What if you're a lefty, guys?
手バージョン、親指、小指、
These are pinky.
孫の手、さらに
Oh, okay. There it is. Extension distance. Yep. Look at this.
この手も近日
Back
発表予定。
scratch.
またキーボードなどお手持ちの USB
Oh,
入力機も接
oh, fuck off.
続できます。現在モバイル版も開発中。これからは外出先でも気軽にマジックハンドが使え
The fuck? Wait, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back. Let me go back. The fucking
モ
tie.
バイル版も開発中。これからは
Alright, bro.
外出先でも気軽にマジックハンドが使えます。思い通りの日本語入力をタッチパネルでも。Google 日本語入力。
Oh man. Let's just see. Okay, I guess this is a play on the IME. Let's see if this still exists. IME M9. Okay. Oh my god. No fucking way it exists. Wait, we're translating this. With magic hand, easy input. Oh, here's the actual video. Okay. Oh, I need to... Sorry guys, I'm gonna blind your eyes. Oh, that doesn't help. Okay. I think the archive didn't include the image here. Wait. I have the archive on, and then it's just... didn't even change the text color. Well, shit, okay. On special occasions, special favors. The flapping verse. What is this? What is this?
賢く便利な文字変換、最新で豊富な語彙。Google 日本語入力は煩わしさを感じさせない思い通りの日本語入力を提供すべく日々進化し続けています。2010年、私た
What is that?
ちは漢字もワンストローク
Wait, there were foot pedals too. I didn't even notice that. What the fuck? This drumstick. So you got the drumsticks, the fucking Tycho ass looking keyboard, the giant ass enter key here, just FYI, and the foot pedals just for extra help, you know?
入力できる画期的なドラムセットバージョンを発表しましたが、キーの数が膨大になり、利用者が思うように伸びませんでした。
Holy shit.
その反省を踏まえ、2年後にはキーを極限まで減らしたモールスバージョンを発表。しかし、このデバイスを操作するにはモールス符号をすべて暗記しなければならず、課題が残りました。キーの数は一つのまま、直感的でシンプルな入力方法はないものだろう
great. They
か。
combine both.
そ
That's
こで完
great.
成したのがこちら。Google 日本語入力パタパタバージョンです。
シンプルかつ直感的な入力方法を実現するにはどうしたらいいのか。今までの考え方を一度ゼロに戻す必要がありました。本当に毎日
Oh yeah, of course.
駅で電車を待っていたら
So much planning, guys. So much planning.
パタパタって回り始めて
Oh my fucking
あ
god.
これだと思いましたね。
使い方はより簡単に USB ケーブルを接続し、
Oh. Wait.
着時刻の掲示板がパタパタって回り始めてあこれだと思いましたね。
使い方はより簡単に
Oh god. Ew. I'm gonna be sick. Nah. What is that cable? No, don't plug it in. What is that cable? I haven't seen that cable since a printer. Ew. The fuck is that? That's even worse than having a mini USB or a micro USB. This USB type B, whatever the fuck it was, is so ass. This connector takes up so much space. I don't even know why it's still used to this day. Just use Type C. It's probably way better than this bullshit.
USB ケーブルを接続し、電源を入れます。ボタンを押すとフラップの回転がスタート。手を離すと回転が止まり、表示されている文字が入力されます。
Oh my god.
ボタンを押してスタート。ローマ字を入力していきます。
To type like 5 letters, it takes like a minute per letter.
難しい予備知識なども必要なく、直感的でスムーズなタイピングが可能となりました。さらに今回はカナ入力や顔文字入力フラップをご用意。
Oh
交換
god.
して自分にフィットした入力方法が選択できます。Google 日本語入力は早くも次のモデルの試
Wait, what the fuck is
作
that?
が始まっています。
Oh
この
my
メガネタイ
god.
プは身体とデバイスを密着させることでさらに入力効率を高めた上級者向けモデル。今まで味わったことのないスピード感が体験できます。さあ皆さんも Google 日本語入力
Yo, if Google Glass was good.
パタパタバージョンで快適な日本語入力を。
Oh, fuck you. Oh, fuck you. Oh my god. The experience of feeling like you're being pushed. Very nice. I know it's being translated, but very, very nice choice of words there. Okay, let's go back to the magic hand, though. This one? Yeah, it is. Holy shit. Google Japan is a different breed, bruh. What the hell? Fuck, dude. Somebody should make this. Somebody should make this as a real product just because it sounds so fucking stupidly funny. Holy shit, dude. What? I'm living in a simulation. It's not real. It's not real. Google Japan is something else with the April Fool's jokes, man. I loved, again, another thing about nostalgia. I loved when April Fool's jokes were a thing. Like, seriously, you know, we have the Japan April Fool's jokes, and then we got, like, the US ones, too. Back before, like, many corporate people, you know, took over and made it a thing that people didn't like anymore. I remember... have you guys ever remembered been in like a Discord server back in like 2018 and everybody just changed everything on the server itself? Like, oh my god, the profile picture is different and everyone's name is different. The profile pictures of the users are different. Everything is a different theme than what you're used to. I remember doing that for my own servers back in the day and man, it was so much fun. Oh my god. I miss it. It's kind of fallen out of fashion now just because, you know, people don't really do it anymore. I mean, some people do, but it's kind of cringe now. But back in the day, oh man, that was so much fun when everyone used to do it. My entire Discord on April 1st used to be a giant mess. I remember spending so long just planning out, like, what do we do for April Fools this year? I feel like it's a good time to, you know, roll that back considering my life has become a lot busier now compared to what it used to be. But man, that was something else. That was something else. I miss it. I really miss it. Okay, what should I look at next? Oh yeah, one thing I want to tell you guys about. Oh, ad break. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna run this ad break before I tell you guys about the thing. I'm gonna get some water, actually. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. Switch back to working. Hey, let me shrink myself down. See, Monami is a fucking fat ass. Look at that fucking size, bro. Look, he needs to lose some weight, man. Alright, I'll be right back. Sorry. Water went down the wrong pipe. Also, quite literally, when you say water goes down the wrong pipe, it's actually true. Because, you know, you have your trachea and your esophagus, and sometimes water can go down the trachea, hit the carina of the trachea, which has a ton of nerve endings, and then you start coughing up a shitload of water. Or sorry, you start coughing a shitload to get the water out, because water shouldn't be in your alveoli. So yeah. That's how that works. Fun. But honestly, I'm gonna be for real. I think, you know, with the advent of LLMs and predictive text, I feel like the Japanese keyboards will become infinitely better because of it. And it'll really help in that aspect, because I feel like that's a place where AI can really make an impact, which is pretty cool. Okay, anyways. Yeah, one thing I did want to talk about is a collab that's happening next week. Or sorry, not next week. This coming Saturday, I'm gonna be hosting yet another collab with NEP on medications that come from plants. And no, it's not like, it's like, you know, various medications, like prescription meds that we get in the hospital that come from various plants. Because as you know, medications can come from various places, like plants, fungi, bacteria, anywhere. Like penicillin is a fungus, right? And there are some medications that came from plants, and it's pretty cool. So we're gonna be covering those medications this coming Saturday at usual stream time. So yeah, be sure to be there. I'll post a more formal announcement on Twitter. NEP will be talking about the plant science and the history. I'll be talking about the stuff I learned in med school, the mechanisms and indications and side effects that could be present as well. So yeah, it should be fun. I find this type of stuff really interesting in general, and I'm really glad that NEP was on board. There's time to eat some foxglove. Yeah, let's go. I like eating the poisonous shit, guys. Let's go. As you guys know, I already did a stream about illegal drugs. So if you watch that VOD, you'll probably be well educated on how those work as well. Man, that stream was an acid trip, quite literally. Holy shit. Alright. Let's see, though. What else could I do? I'm gonna look at my Twitter bookmarks. Let's see if I missed anything from yesterday. Ads in the smart fridge. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, I want to know... Just take a look at this post. What do you guys think when you see this? What is your initial impression when you see this post? And I'm gonna read it to you guys, okay? Actually, fuck it. You guys didn't get the ASMR yesterday, you're getting it today. No, wait. This isn't an ASMR-like post. Man, okay, fuck it. We're just gonna talk it normally. Breaking. Adobe has been breached by threat actor Mr. Okay, a few words in, I'm already dying. I'm just in a giggly mood today. There's no way this guy this hacker deadass named themselves Mr. Raccoon. Bruh. Okay, let's keep going. Adobe has been breached by threat actor Mr. Raccoon, leaking 13 million support tickets of personal data, 15 million employee records, all HackerOne submissions, internal documents, and more. Mr. Raccoon gained access to an Indian BPO, first deploying a remote access to an employee, then phishing their manager. How to take attention and make people think fake news having a silly name. Yeah. Mr. Raccoon told us they allowed you to export tickets in one request for an agent. I think these guys are legit. This account's legit, so yeah, it should be fine. Oh my god. Okay. I want to talk about something here, and it's kind of important. Outsourcing has been a huge issue for a very long time, and this right here just proves it. Like, you're telling me that a random threat actor leaked 13 million support tickets just because he asked a person from an outsourced company, hey, can you just give me the tickets real quick? Are you fucking serious? You're fucking kidding, right? This is the problem when you don't hire people that are in your actual fucking company building or company network. That's the biggest issue that will happen. Yeah, sure, the workers might be cheaper and they're from a different firm, but they're also not, they don't really give a fuck about the company. I don't think anyone really does when they're working, other than to make money, but at least the people that are working for the company give a fuck about the company so they can continue having a job there, right? In the case of outsourcing, it's mainly just like a consulting firm. So it doesn't matter if they lose the job or not, they'll just get a new one. That's how I think of it, right? Like, dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, the way I thought you guys would react to this, or just people in general, would be like, oh my god, Adobe got hacked. It's fucking just desserts for them, you know? Because Adobe's been fucking people over since the beginning, you know, all that shit. Yeah. I gotta start using DaVinci on my Mac. That would be more fun. But I gotta actually set up my Mac so I could use it from my PC and shit. But yeah, interesting stuff. Oh yeah, VTubers is trending because that Law and Order thing. That's pretty cool. Let's read the comments, actually. Is it racist? Please tell me it's not racist. Shocker, another outsourcing firm. The employee. They leaked the employee. No, bruh. You think this wouldn't happen to an American employee? Less likely. Okay, but yeah, for those of you who don't know, it's morally correct to pirate Adobe products. Just FYI. FYI, guys. FYI. Yeah, pirate your Adobe products. Your life will become easier. This channel does not endorse pirating in any way, shape, or form. This is just a joke. This is comedy. Thank you, Twitch TOS. Oh my god. But yeah, Adobe... let's just... Okay. Adobe Predatory. Let's just look at this. Oh, well, perfect. A Medium article. That's what I like. Oh, fuck you. This is why I hate Medium. Ah. Medium. Okay, perfect. FYI, if you want to bypass Medium articles, just use Freedium. It just basically bypasses the paywall. Okay, so I'm gonna swap my windows. Hold on. On March 2nd, ex-user 7suo tried to cancel their Creative Cloud plan. Adobe hit them with a $51.98 early cancellation fee. So let's see, is this post still up? Nope, of course not. Okay, so early cancellation fee. They posted Adobe fuck you mistakes who charges people for canceling a subscription. The screenshot shows Adobe's cancellation page. Want to quit before March 25th? Pay $52. Plus, you lose all of your apps right away. Your cloud storage drops. If you have more files stored with Adobe, tough luck. Adobe has been doing this for years. They offer a monthly plan that's actually a yearly contract. You pay monthly, but you're locked in for 12 months. Cancel early, pay up. Adobe shows a lower monthly price if you agree to pay for a full year. Sounds good, right? Until you want out, then they hit you with a cancellation fee. Why does this work? Because Adobe owns the creative industry. Need Photoshop for work? You're stuck. Client sends you an Illustrator file? Better have Adobe. They know most people have no choice, but don't they? But this person didn't rant and move on. The cancel fee made them so mad they started researching alternatives. They posted about Affinity, GIMP, Dingboard as replacement for Adobe's tools. Then they took it further. They started building their own Photoshop alternative called No Adobe Photoshop. I'll claim bankruptcy over $50 before I pay these fuckers. Okay, this guy is funny. Okay, the level of rage captures what a lot of Adobe users feel but don't always say out loud. The whole thread went viral because tons of people have been burned by the same thing. You sign up thinking it's just a monthly subscription, you try to cancel, boom, surprise fee. They jump in with solutions, don't cancel yet, they create a new virtual credit card. Wait, okay, before I keep reading, and I'm reading kind of fast, I apologize, because it's kind of obvious as to what's happening here. Basically, Adobe, gets people in early, right? They teach people in college about Photoshop, Premiere, Illustrator, all of the big boy programs. And then you're basically locked into Adobe for life because it's like the easiest path of least resistance. It's so much easier to use Adobe than to migrate to a different piece of software, right? Everything is in one suite. It's so easy to get started with. So you cough up the subscription fee. It's a bit expensive, but you just cough it up anyway. So you pay the fee, and let's say now you're done with Adobe. You don't want to use it anymore. You don't like the way the tools are going. You try and cancel. Uh-oh, you're canceling too early. You gotta pay 51 bucks to cancel. So you gotta pay a fee just to cancel your own fucking subscription, which is ridiculous. It's insane. So either you continue paying per month until the subscription expires, or you cancel and you pay an early cancellation fee so they still get the per month fee anyway. So let's see. I created a new virtual credit card, then I switched payment methods on Adobe, then I deleted the virtual credit card, and then I canceled my Adobe sub. Go into the subscription, choose the higher or lower option, and then you forget to unsubscribe. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I talked about subscription services before, but I can talk about them again. Go to the subscription, choose the higher or lower option. Wait a few seconds, and then cancel subscription outright without early termination fees. Going nuclear. Do a fraud dispute on your credit card so they can't charge you. The math sucks either way. You pay the 52 bucks or you stay trapped until your year is up. This isn't the first time someone has called out Adobe's predatory practices. This has happened often. I've seen a lot of posts about this. I've experienced it myself. When I try and cancel my subscription, the process is full of confusing steps and dark patterns designed to keep the users subscribed. Again, this is like a gym membership. If you guys know, canceling a gym membership is like navigating the gates of hell. It's really tough. And, you know, there are laws that are being passed to make it a simple one-and-done process, but yeah, it gets tough. 10 months ago in a post out, Adobe has the most predatory... Okay. They've been paying for 2 years, well beyond the original contract, but still got hit with a fee. Adobe automatic... Yeah, okay, so what I was gonna say. So even though you're waiting for the subscription to expire, they'll just automatically renew it, and then you get stuck with the next year. So they gave users a narrow 14-day window to cancel without a fee. They spend an hour with Adobe before finally being offered a workaround to switch to a cheaper plan and then cancel under the new 14-day window. Why the fuck is there a workaround? Why is and now the FTC is suing just like they did with gym memberships. Okay. Do you know how horrible... Okay, this is kind of opinion, but do you know how horrible you have to be to get sued by the US federal government? That's kind of funny. All right, but... Again, this is a big reason why people are saying, oh, well, there you go. I was going to say fuck Adobe, but I guess Reddit called it out for me. r/fuck Adobe. A discussion board for people who have been fucked by Adobe. Bruh, that's crazy. All right. But yeah, so... Basically, Adobe is really, really expensive, and people are saying, like, the Adobe breach is just desserts, but honestly, leaking all those employee IDs is kind of sad, because the employees didn't really do anything wrong, right? It's not really their fault that they have this fucking shitty subscription service. They're just working there. Like, one thing when you talk about a company in general, like Microsoft or Google, and you're trying to say, oh my god, they're so evil, it's not the employees that are evil. They just have a job there. That's it. Like, they're working, they're getting their bread, and then they're leaving. They're making new stuff and things like that. Don't go after or harass, like, any employees, anything of the sort. It's mainly the people in the executive positions that are making these shitty decisions and pushing them on the employees, whether it be like a work crunch or something like that. You're gonna see a lot of this happening in the tech landscape, and that's just the reality of it. Like, people aren't, you know, treated well in a lot of places, especially in the corporate ladder, and and you really shouldn't be hating on the people, the employees themselves. Hate on the don't don't shoot the messenger. Talk to the people in charge. That's what you should do. Kind of sucks though. This is really something that people gotta do just to unsubscribe from fucking Adobe of all places. Like, who uses Adobe in that way? That's why people tend to just pirate Adobe, because like this entire process seems completely stupid. It's like, as I always said, you know, the reason why piracy exists is because the legitimate way is so difficult and convoluted that people would rather just pirate the software. The fact that piracy is easier than doing the legit thing is comical, almost. It's very, very comical and stupid. Like, there's no way that should be the case, right? I for one, agree with getting stuff legitimately, but if the legit way is so convoluted and terrible to do, I'm just gonna use the path of least resistance. That's what most people go through. And that's the reason why Steam is such a good platform. That's the reason why people just use Spotify instead of pirating music, is because the platforms are extremely convenient. TV platforms started getting pirated because there's so many different ones. Streaming services are just becoming like cable again. Nowadays, there are ad-supported plans. Like, we have Netflix ad-supported. We have Prime ad-supported. Disney Plus is ad-supported for just the basic fee. So you're paying for seeing ads. And it's like, brother, why the fuck am I paying to see ads when I could just, you know, do piracy and not have to see ads? And again, pay money to see ads. Yeah, exactly, right? Why the fuck are you paying money to see ads? And again, piracy is a crime. Yes, piracy is illegal. That's something you should not be doing in a fair and just world. But I'm not trying to encourage piracy here, by the way. I'm just trying to say why piracy is so rampant, and it seems like these companies are just tone deaf as to why it's happening. Rather than doing anti-piracy campaigns, maybe fix your software so that it doesn't make people want to start pirating and make convenient ways to start pirating. You're obviously going to have that subset of users that's going to try and get the shit for free because, you know, free is better than paying, but I would pay for a good service. Like Steam, for example. I buy my games on Steam and the Nintendo eShop because they're very, very convenient platforms. It's not like I'm paying for Netflix, but my show is on Peacock, right? It's more so like I pay for Netflix, my show's on fucking Netflix. Or more like, you know, the show leaves Netflix in a month and goes to Peacock, in which why the fuck am I paying for Netflix now, right? Yeah, this shit's just beyond fucked, though. And also, like, the pricing as well. Things are really expensive now. Like, Nintendo games are $80. Some people don't like the $80 and just pirate the games instead. Power to ya, man, but I don't know. I don't really sit well with that. Older games, I understand. There's also, like, the piracy angle of if the game is no longer being sold, for example, with older systems like the Game Boy or DS, if the game is no longer being sold, then piracy makes sense. I mean, honestly, I kind of agree with that, because, like, if you're not making money off of it anyway, why the fuck are you still why are you still trying to enforce it? Who fucking cares? Like, you don't need to make every console backwards compatible, but at least make it so that you can actually play the fucking games without having to worry about anything. And then all the computers are required to have OS level DRMs that can't load any unofficial programs and videos. Yeah, of course not. Honestly, the moment that this stuff happens, people are switching to Linux. Like, I feel like there'll be a mass exodus to Linux once, if any of that shit happens where you have all these extra DRMs just to turn the computer on. Linux desktop will be alive and kicking in like less than a month. Like, you gotta make a change that genuinely pisses people off to the degree that even the average user gets pissed off. I mean, to be fair, Hika, iOS is quite literally that, except the video part. The programs, yes, but the video part. iOS is like the closest you can get to the most to lockdown as possible, like OS level security. You have to sign every application and stuff like that. DRMs are not a thing though. Linux made it illegal because it didn't have digital ID verification. Well, you see, we still have the age verification thing, right? And then people just block people from downloading Linux from those areas, but then you can use a VPN to download Linux anyway. It's like the computer's like, the government's like, I can't see your computer. And you're like, yeah, because I got Linux free and just. Like, that's not illegal to have Linux. It's illegal for the person to provide Linux. But they're in a different state, so it's like a different story. I don't know. I talked about the age verification dilemma with System D and more people doing that stuff. EU banning VPNs to some degree. Yeah, the UK is trying... I don't know. Sorry. 1 second. I know Nemu told me before, I don't know if Nemu is still in the chat here, but I know Nemu told me before about how the UK is like pretty much censoring and banning everything, and it fucking sucks. And the US is trying to follow suit, but you know, people in the US are way more outspoken than people in the UK, so that shit ain't happening anytime soon in a lot of states. Oh, we gotta protect the children. Bro, that's not protecting fucking children. Parent your fucking kids. Use parental controls. I swear to God, I've said this so many times. Like, Jesus Christ. Can you just, like... And I know I'm being a bit ranty right now, but it's just so stupid to see how much control is being exerted over our own fucking devices. Like, it's my technology. I fucking paid for it. Let me use it in the way I want, you asshat. Like, seriously. America born with the spirit of revolution. Oh, God. I mean, the entire thing of, like, you own nothing and be happy is something that people talk about a lot. You know, people are like, you know, there's always the conspiracy theorists out there, but there are genuine people that are just like, you'll just own nothing and be happy, because that's what it's supposed to be like in today's time. Like, cars on a lease, subscription services to have heated seats, proprietary fucking screws in a BMW. Let me just show you. Let me just show you what the fuck this looks like. This fucking screw. BMW made a fucking screw that nobody can turn because it's a brand, it's its own type of screw. What the fuck? So, yeah, just FYI, if you're buying a new car, don't buy a BMW. They're fucking ass if they put this in here. Mercedes-Benz make it easier to repair. I mean, isn't that Deere tractors in the right to repair controversy? Yeah, it is. Like, John Deere tractors can't be repaired by farmers themselves, even though it makes more sense that the farmer on a big-ass fucking field should be able to repair their own tractor in a pinch instead of calling a fucking service person to do it for them. It's the same deal with Apple, right? I have Apple devices, but their repair practices are so shit, I have a case for everything. I talked about how much Apple Care cost when I used to have it. I used to pay for Apple Care. I don't anymore. And it costs way more than just buying the fucking screen or the whatever part itself. It's like literally having health insurance but for your phone, but you don't even need insurance for your phone. Like, who the fuck needs insurance for their phone after like 4 years? Just cancel it and then just get a new phone at that point. It's gonna be worth less than just buying a new fucking screen or repairing the phone. Sorry. But yeah, that's the entire right to repair controversy. Like, everything should be repairable. That's what they're saying. There's also like the entire, you know, I'm surprised that the EU were the people that pushed, you know, oh, all the app stores should be the apps, like, app stores should be completely independent, while also trying to push for age verification and locking down of content at the same time. Like, are you trying to make more tech freedom, or are you trying to censor people more? That's what I've always been confused about. Let me know what you think. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to get into political stuff here. I'm just more so trying to get to, like, how the tech landscape is changing across the world, because people are becoming way more overzealous with this shit, and it feels very ridiculous at this point. I don't understand why people try to push this entire narrative that, hey, age verification is super important, because it's not. It doesn't fucking help anyone. It just, in fact, it makes things way more inconvenient for everyone using a piece of technology. Try not to piss off the lobbyists while furthering your agenda. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a political person. I'm just talking more so just in general. Like, I hope that we don't see more lockdown tech in the future. That would suck. But maybe that's the future. Who knows? That's really what happens. I mean, seems like a security risk. Who cares about security? We're protecting the children, aren't we? Who cares about keeping yourself private? Who cares about that stuff? I think we should have government backdoors everywhere. It's a great idea. Definitely very, very useful to have the government sneaking in on your every fucking thing that you're doing. I don't know. This shit just pisses me off to no end. Why am I gonna have someone monitoring what I fucking do? I get that stuff. Politicians don't care. They won't be the ones getting sued for a data breach. No, they won't. They won't. No, they won't. So fucking stupid. Also, hi, Yo-Yo. I have a shift tomorrow, and like, you're a dumbass. Fuck you. Sorry, I'm salty about my shift while you don't have anything. Me. Alright. But yeah, like, that's just a small... Don't you hobby? Listen here, you little... I don't even know what to call you. Little Shiba? You little bonkhead? Goober? Nah, Goober is for someone else. Fuck, I don't know what to call you. I'll figure out what to call you. I'll probably just draw you yo-yoing. I'm a fourth year. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you. Nah, you're not a fourth year med student. You haven't passed your boards yet. Nah, you're not fourth year yet. Nah, fuck you. One health shift and then 3 days off. Man. At least I don't have 6 day. At least I don't have 6 day weeks anymore. Thank God. I only have 5 day weeks now for the next month, so I can properly study and stuff. But man, fuck, everything is gonna be so tough. Ugh. I'm not looking forward to the next few months, man. I'm gonna be bouncing around all over the place. Fuck. I mean, I'm not gonna talk about too much because it's a Twitch stream, but you know, there's a lot of shit happening behind the scenes in my life in general. Not like in the VTuber side or anything. That's this whole other thing, but there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. Just me trying to keep my shit together. It's always good to vent about fucking cybersecurity nonsense in the week. You know, always fun. But yeah, let's close this. One thing that's been gaining traction lately, I don't know if you guys have seen this. Let me just search it up. The analog trend. So influencers. I guess this is the last thing I could cover today. So there's this new trend popping up where influencers are trying to adopt the quote-unquote analog style. Basically, oh, son of a bitch. One second. Nah, get away. All right. 1 second. I'm gonna grab a prompt, for example. Ow. Okay. So, one thing that people use all the time are the following. Okay? I can show my webcam. Show my webcam. Phone. PC. MacBook. But they use their phone. A lot of people have realized, hey, you could get addicted to this thing. You could be doom scrolling the entire time. And what influencers or YouTubers are trying to do is to shift to the more analog lifestyle. And I'm going to show you guys what that is in a second, but it involves stuff like a Game Boy. It can involve older tech like a 3DS or an iPod or something of the sort. Again, I'm not joining this analog trend. I just have these consoles for, you know, playing the actual games on the console. But this thing is very interesting. So at the dawn of 2026, social media influencers proclaimed it the year of the analog lifestyle, called to reduce digital connectivity as smart tech and screen time dominate a person's attention span. Like I previously said, doom scrolling. Sally Tan, an influencer from California, said people are craving something real again, and vowed to print her photos, read more books and magazines that take up hobbies that don't need Wi-Fi. So, physical media. I know some friends of mine read books primarily, and they don't really use their phone as much, except to talk to me and other people. So they started to use iPods again, basically more dedicated devices. So you go from, we're basically working backwards here. And then they use going analog. From noon to 5 p.m. I'm looking at screens all day, then going home, just looking at my phone, scrolling at social media. I just feel like there's not a chance within our day-to-day lives to get a break from technology. I feel like that's true to an extent, but also it's just an exercise of self-control. If you don't want to use your phone, if you want to take a break from technology, put the phone away. Don't do anything. I mean, in mission-critical jobs like, you know, on-call tech or healthcare, being a doctor, for example, you really can't put your phone away. It's just impossible. Maybe you could get a beeper, right? That's possible too, but you can't put your phone away. It's not a thing that can happen. But for people who are, you know, influencers or don't have mission critical jobs, then this is definitely something that you could approach. Unfortunately, the life we have today involves the use of smartphones, right? Work phones, always being on call, always being there 24/7. Unlike, you know, older times, an older era where people didn't necessarily have a smartphone or a way to get paged 24/7. And, you know, that's just how life works nowadays. It kind of sucks though. But with that aside, let's keep reading this. Spend any time outside, you'll constantly see all people of ages are on their smartphone. Default Apple ringer. No, it's not the default Apple ringer. It's the default, like, ringtone for Verizon phones. I hear that sound every single time. Basically, the joke that Hika is making is when you're a medical resident, you have a work phone and you have a personal phone, your personal phone, right? You carry them both around. Whenever that default Apple ringtone goes off, that's usually when your work phone is going off. And then you have to pick that up and you answer like, hey, this is surgery. Hey, this is internal medicine. What do you need from me? So that's what happens. Usually like emergency or surgery, IM. It depends on like the phone they get. I know like the surgery one, they have like this thick ass flip phone that they use. And it's like one of those indestructible phones. It's crazy. Anyways, let's continue. So people are on their smartphones outside. Okay. They use the digital devices for day-to-day tasks, including communication, translation, yada, yada, yada. All right. And pretty much 91% of adults own a smartphone because, you know, it's like the rite of passage nowadays. The goal of the analog lifestyle trend is to wean people off constant digital connectivity by doing tangible activities that help a person reclaim their time. But the smartphone isn't the villain, it's a tool. It's a handy tool, but it can be challenging to manage. Why now? Oh, wow, it's a long article. Okay, I'm gonna just summarize this as well. Oh, jeez. Smartphone dependence has existed for years, but was compounded by people when the COVID-19 pandemic forced people inside. So they had their phones, people went more cyber, went online, and did a lot more stuff. So ever since they got removed from the lockdown, even though people started to go outside again, they were still stuck to their phone because that behavior never really wore off once people went back outside because more people got addicted to phones. So there's always been this, you know, trend of dopamine detox or something of the sort because smartphones are quote unquote supposed to increase your dopamine, which is what a lot of studies show. However, there is a thing where these things are rebranded. Right now it's going analog. Before it was dopamine detox. And then even before that was parents saying that the phone will fry your brain. It was the same thing with TVs, right? It just depends on what you do on them. It kind of sucks to be accessible all the time and having to reply to everything. Unfortunately, it's just the rule of the game at this point. So let's look at how are the analog lifestyle trend different because we talked about dopamine detox just now. The analog trend is a different way to kick the digital habit because embracing old technology, spending time on crafting projects, say people are trying to be entertained and relaxed on ways that don't involve being online. Okay, so basically just doing time management. So unlike dopamine detox, where you just lock your phone away and you spend time without your phone, the analog movement basically let me draw this out actually. So, okay. So unlike, you know, the dopamine detox movement, the analog movement is different. The thing that's the problem here is that our phone plus our computer are very centralized. You can do anything on them, such as maps, social media, games, texting, emails, and even work. They're all linked together, right? Everything is on 2 devices, maybe 3. So the analog lifestyle tends to take the 2 devices, let's just say the phone, for example, and split it into dedicated parts. So for example, for gaming, use a console. For reading, use books or an e-reader. For taking pictures or videos, use a physical camera. And the list goes on. Obviously, for stuff like texting, emails, and work, this analog trend just can't apply. Like, you literally can't go analog for these anymore, unless there's a different way to do so. But this is really what most people are doing. They're trying to decentralize as much as they can from their centralized phone, because that's just how it's supposed to work nowadays. And they're just rolling back the time to, again, 2000s era tech. I keep talking about 2000s era tech, and the reason why is because it's all had its own dedicated purpose, and people have realized that rather than hybridizing everything together, they break it apart once again. Is this just young people who grew up that way? Yeah, I mean, most of the influencers who are doing this are probably millennial and maybe Gen Z, right? Maybe less so Gen Z, because the latter half grew up with smartphones, the earlier half grew up like I did with dedicated devices, as you can see on my little desk here. One question. But yeah, I mean, that's generally how it's happening, because people feel addicted on their phones. I feel like the best thing that people could do with their phones is A, right? Stop doom scrolling. And then B, uninstall shorts. Or like, you know, apps. Apps that work on a sort of algorithm, right? Oh, also I forgot to note here. Music, iPod. Okay. Like, those are the two things that you could do. The reason why I get so productive at times, I don't, you know, stream studying because I'm very productive when I am studying and locked in, is because you need to just focus on what you're looking at. You can't be switching tabs all the time. You can't be switching to different apps. Sometimes I do that just because I'm just mentally exhausted. But when I need to actually study, I don't look at anything but the studying. I don't care about anything around me, anything else, right? You just don't do the behaviors on your phone. You get rid of the apps that are causing these issues. You don't have to go as far as to ditch your phone entirely. While these devices are great, like the console for games, a camcorder for pictures, reading actual books instead of reading on an iPad, for example, or using an e-reader, they're nice in their own way. Like, these are dedicated things that you can completely focus on without feeling like you want to switch to something else. But at the same time, it's just a training regimen for gaining self-control for using your phone. That's what I feel like it should be. And even like when I was an undergrad, just decrease screen time in general is better. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what this is trying to do, right? Decreasing the screen time, going outside, enjoying the breeze, etc. I mean, I'm also guilty of going outside and going on my phone, because, like, I don't know what the fuck else to do. I do enjoy nature. Oh, we got an ad, fuck. I do enjoy nature, but, you know, sometimes I just want to send a picture to my friend or something like that. And, you know, I feel like the best time for me to just vibe out and relax is like on a beach or something. I go to the beach, I sit there, I put my phone away, and I just enjoy the sun, the waves, the sea, whatever. That's like my resting place. Some place where I could genuinely just sit around and take in the scenery, as opposed to just, you know, taking pictures for everybody around me. I will do that, of course, but you also have to have the self-control to just, like, say, nah, I'm not gonna do that today, you know? So this analog movement really seems like something, a bit of an extreme to me. Like, you don't have to go this far. That's why I like fishing. Yeah, fishing is nice. I personally like just boating in general. It's cool when I can do it. Coding as well is kind of like a relaxing thing for me when I'm not, you know, rotating through fucking crazy ass hospitals. But coding in general is just relaxing. Because, oh great, we got an ad, fun. But I'll finish my thought after the ad. I don't want people to miss content. I'm just gonna pause for a second. Sorry guys. I always like pausing during ads so that everybody can actually get information rather than just, you know, people who are subscribed and whatever. I made it a thought process to have the full bottle of water next to me when I'm streaming instead of just leaving it to the wayside. It makes it easier to, you know, do streams properly. Pretty nice. Yeah, we live in a very interesting world for sure. But I find that my hobbies are more so hobbies where it's required for you to sit there for hours at a time, just working on one thing. I feel like I don't want to. I feel like we should just like unify. Sometimes we need to multitask, right? But sometimes we need to just turn our brain off and do one thing, right? One thing, and that's it. We don't have to look at anything else. We don't have to think if something else is going to go wrong. Just focus on doing that one single thing that makes you feel happy, feel satisfied. Like I'm streaming with you guys right now. I'm focused on just doing that. I'm not focused on anything else. I'm not looking at any notifications. I specialize in that. Okay. Okay. That is true. Hika does specialize in... Hika, the radiologist, does do just one thing. But, you know, not for work. Just as a hobby in general. If you ever want to decompress your mind. Just... I think this analog thing is literally just a simpler way of saying focus on one thing at a time. I know there are some VTubers that actually have gotten into the analog movement and have more so started doing it. There is one that I've seen her videos and I've talked with her before. She's pretty chill, but let me just show you. I don't know if she's streaming right now. Yeah, I have her located here. Yeah, so this person, YouthNet, has talked about iPod, flip phone, small laptop, camcorder. So this is quite literally a analog movement in a nutshell. But I feel like the easiest way to handle this, like doing that while watching stream, that's pretty okay. Well, you're multitasking, but that's fair. I mean, watching my streams is more so just like a comfort thing rather than like, oh my god, I gotta be actively engaged. It's very cool that you guys are actively engaged. I love you guys all for that. But you know, my vibe is more so just like a chill worker vibe. I speak my piece, you can speak your piece, whatever. It's nothing too crazy, right? But yeah. I mean, hold on. Let me just open up that YouTube tab again, and let me just see. Analog movement. Let's see. Smart devices for analog changed my life. The analog trend already failed. Peak consumerism. I kind of started watching this guy, got bored. The analog movement is taking over in 2026. More consumerism. Your analog living toolkit. Like, this is taking it too far. Again, I said this like 3 times already, but I collect all of this, you know, retro tech just because I find it cool and I want to, you know, play on the actual device. I don't collect it just so I could disconnect from reality or disconnect from my phone. I use my phone a lot. I'm fucking Gen Z. Of course I use my phone a lot. And you can see here, like, I don't know. I mean, it looks nice. It has a cool aesthetic, but I find that there's a reason why we went digital, but there's also a reason to exercise self-control and just not use the apps that make you get glued to your phone all the time. You know? And I'm kind of not practicing what I preach here because, you know, I do exactly that. I scroll Twitter. I look at Discord when I'm bored. Because what the fuck else am I gonna do during a fucking surgery case? And, you know, there's nothing that I really can do. I watch the screen, sure, but sometimes I need to look down and move my neck and stuff like that. It gets boring. So yeah, I mean, people take these detox things in different ways, but you don't really need to go this far, in my opinion. Contaminate the surgical field? Yeah, that's exactly what you should be doing, guys. Contaminate your surgical field. Very good advice. Very good advice. I'll be sure to do that next time I go into a surgery, FYI. Definitely be sure to do that. Don't do that, guys. Like, the number one thing with a surgery rotation is if you contaminate the sterile field, is to not contaminate the sterile field. Like, you can try and help out, but once those blue drapes are up, don't do anything unless you're scrubbed in. If somebody drops something, don't pick it up. Like, just sit there, because that's what the nurses want you to do. Just sit there and do nothing, and help if you can when they're going on the table, when the patient's going on the table. But when the surgery is going on, don't do anything and just watch. Like, that's the number one way to survive, because you might feel like, oh my god, if I don't help out, they're gonna hate me. But no, they're not gonna hate you. They're actually gonna like you that you're not trying to do shit out of the ordinary. And they'll also tell you, like, when you're doing shit to be careful and stuff like that. So, yeah. Nurses can be pretty nice. I love the nurses in my place. They're amazing. But yeah, anyways, it is getting kind of late. Picking the forceps off the ground and putting them into your surgeon's hands with increased smiley eyes. Oh, God. I had a surgery where we dropped a retractor one time, and we're like, "Where's the retractor?" And then we just like left it because we didn't really need it. That was funny. But yeah, let's talk about. Okay, let's finish this article here because there's something interesting here. How to reduce your digital connectivity. There isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. Sometimes suggestions how to go about it have to be spread. They post about their analog bag. That's fucking stupid. The recommendation is increase the search on iPods and eBay. So now there's a huge bull run of iPods on eBay, and people are scalping them once again. You don't have to spend money to participate in the analog lifestyle trend, because making a drastic change might not be helpful because it's not something you'll stick up long term. If you really want to stick with your overall digital use, start with small adjustments to your habits. Wow, it's almost like that's just what I said. Like, remove your phone from your view when you're working on another task. Remove an app from your phone's home screen, like Instagram, like TikTok. Mute or stop unnecessary notifications. Swap your doom scrolling time with another activity. You want to know the best analog activity that you can do in today's time? Go to the fucking gym. Work out. Make yourself healthier. Go for a walk or something, dude. Like, that's the best thing you could do, assuming you don't have a physical disability that prevents it. Why aren't you being paid thousands of dollars for your transcendental advice? I should be being paid. You know what? You guys should be donating to me right now and subscribing to me because I've been giving you the best advice possible. I'm not actually asking for that. Please don't. I don't want you guys to feel like you're forced to subscribe to me. Thank you. But yeah, like, just, like, again, as I said, this entire analog NEP, I should also be given money because I do have a physical disability. Hey. Well, yeah, I mean, I have physical disabilities as well, right? I do have them, and I am, you know, I don't really push them over, like, oh my god, I have a physical disability. I don't really talk about it too much because I don't want people to think of me like in a different way. But, and I'll talk about dealing with physical disabilities in probably like a different stream or something. But, you know, I take the time to work out as much as I can, to get as strong as I can, to gain as much muscle, and to make myself healthier. Because I feel like everybody, rather than doom scrolling on your phone, and sometimes there are times you do just want to doom scroll because, you know, your brain is completely tired, and completely understand that. And, you know, there's sometimes you just need to put the phone down and walk around, clean up the house, be healthy, and just be able to live life, you know? Stop and smell the roses type shit. I do purely because I have a career that involves physical activity and impacts my... Oh, the disability. Okay. I thought you were talking about just in general. Yeah, take care of your health. Never. I can use my phone at the same time. Well, you probably should fix that, but also I do the same thing in the hospital. Okay. But yeah, but I feel like this entire analog movement thing just seems overkill to me. You don't need to do this. You don't need to buy an analog bag. You don't need to buy an iPod. You don't need to buy a physical camera. You don't need to buy a Game Boy and mod it like I did. And you don't need to buy an e-reader unless you actually need one. Like, I have an e-reader just so it's easier to sleep at night. I'm probably gonna read some manga on it before I go to bed. But, you know, that's the reason I have it. It's not just to, oh, I want to disconnect from my phone. No, I just want to read my fucking manga in a nice way. That's all I have an e-reader for. Like, there's different reasons for having these things, other than, oh, I want to disconnect from life. Just fix your habits. Fix your damn habits. Because if you try and fix your habits, it's gonna feel weird at first, but eventually it'll just fade away like nothing happened. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing to see. Hopefully, yeah, and if you have a physical disability, do what you can. You know, go outside, go to a bar even, talk to people. It's hard, I know it's hard to talk to people in today's day and age because, you know, everyone's on their phone, nobody really likes face-to-face conversation anymore. I'm scared as shit when I talk to strangers at times. Strange telephone-esque statement, disconnect from life. You know, like, everybody loves to live in the internet world. I mean, you're watching me right now, right? I'm a fucking internet, I'm presenting myself as an internet fucking anime girl, right? And it's just that, you know, sometimes the internet isn't all of life. You go outside and everything just seems calm and peaceful. I feel like this as example, like I feel like this whenever I see the news, and this is a big reason why I stopped following the news in general. This is more like a personal thing for me. I stopped reading news articles. I stopped looking at all that shit because while news articles do give you like understanding of what's going on in the world, they also are made to be as inflammatory as possible to get as many clicks as possible. So I just stopped watching the news or paying attention to the news. Maybe I get like the occasional Twitter post talking about the thing, but the latest current thing, but I don't really pay too much attention from it. Instead, I just, you know, live my life as is, because when you aim to just shift your focus back from, oh my god, I gotta look at what's happening in the entire world, you start to see that everything becomes somewhat peaceful. Like, everything becomes somewhat peaceful, you focus on your life for a bit, and that's pretty much it. I was gonna say needs more chaos, but someone had a heart attack on my scanner a couple weeks ago, so I thought better. Yeah. I'm not gonna talk about what happened yesterday. It was pretty gruesome, but that stuff has happened. I've seen it happen too. No worries, I'm with you on that. I feel like medicine is one of the careers that you can think of what I just said, like focusing on just what's in front of you, is because you're so busy in medicine that you don't really have time to look at the news. You don't have time to do anything other than, you know, your work when you're in the hospital. I mean, sometimes you might just scroll on Twitter for a bit. Sometimes you might do other stuff. But right now in my life, I'm either working or I'm studying. One of the two. And when I get home, I'm just relaxing. I don't give a fuck what anybody has done in the world. I don't give a fuck what happened in some other country. I don't care. Right? Most people just don't give a shit. You learn to cherish the lows. Yeah. Like, I am very vehement about my weekend time. Like, my weekend time is my time. If you try and intervene on my time, I am going to say fuck you and no. Because that is the few bits of time that I have to just relax and let my mind reset for the next week. Whether it be like a day and a half or 2 days of weekend, I'm letting my mind reset because I have to. Otherwise, you're just gonna go insane. I don't understand people that work 7 days a week, 365 a year. Like, are 365 days a year. They're insane, but I personally can't do that. I don't think anyone can. So yeah, with that being said, I believe my weekend time might be coming to an end real soon. So I'm gonna call it here. I think this was a really good stream. I appreciate you guys for pulling up. Again, collab with Nep. I'm gonna put some more stuff up throughout this week about what we're going to be doing. We're just going to be talking about various medications, really, and just having a blast. If you saw the previous diagnostic stream, you know what I'm talking about. I know you guys definitely enjoyed that. And yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to the collab with Nep. It should be very fun and interesting, especially because, you know, we're both very, very good in our field. And I encourage all doctors and former plant people, horticulturists, any other specialties to pull up. Yep, the title is Medicines and Medicinals. Yep, that's right. Anybody, any science interest in mind to pull up Saturday, April 11, 9 p.m. Should be fun. Again, you want to take a look at my socials? I'm gonna drop... Oh, my iPad! No! I dropped my iPad! Fuck! Oh, I didn't break it, thank God. That thing is a tank. How about the medicine accessories? The what? Medicine accessories? The fuck are medicine accessories? You mean the Holter monitor? The fashionable Holter monitor that goes around you when you get a cardio test? Or the ambulatory BP monitor? Or like the pacemaker? Or the AICD? Is that what you're talking about? Or the artificial valve? The pig mitral valve? The mechanical aortic valve? You're talking about those, bro? Anyways, so here are my socials. And here's my Discord. If you guys aren't in the Discord, I encourage that you join. It's probably the best place to get information, chat with me directly. I also do chat in the voice chat at time, especially when I'm doing stuff that is important for the stream. And yeah, and as for like the, let me show the hand cam again. As for the link cable thing, I'm probably going to do this on my own or just do a quick guerrilla stream and, you know, do shit with it, but we'll see. I'll make a YouTube video if I end up doing it on my own, but I'm not sure. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna find somebody to raid. On the rarer occasion, you might find him in yeah, sometimes I hop in Nep's VC because I'm bored. On the rarer occasion... Alright, who do I raid, though? I don't know who to raid. This person looks chill. You want me to raid Gaussian? I can raid Gaussian, sure. That's fine with me. What's Gaussian even doing? Wink. Let's see. What is dumb doing? Oh, playing game. Okay, that sounds good. All right. Oh, you're in his chat. I see how it is. Okay, but yeah, so I'm gonna raid this dude. Probably gonna head to bed, get ready for work tomorrow, and we're gonna go from there. I appreciate all you guys for coming. Tune in next week. Tune in this Saturday. We're gonna have a really fun time. It's gonna be great. But yeah, I'll see you guys in a few days. All right, peace out, guys. Bye.